Morning with Randy Carricker, Brooke Grimsley, and Carrie Davis on the opening drive. Presented by Sumner One.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Hump Day?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the opening drive on 101 ESPN in St. Louis. It is not only Hump Day and 7 o'clock on Hump Day. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Brooke Grimsley is here. Carrie Davis is here. I'm Randy Carricker. But not only is it Hump Day, but it is a number of the day.
Oh.
It's pretty cool.
A good number?
The number of the day. You will.
Number of the day you're about to see. The number of the day is 3.
How about our St. Louis Blues? Woo!
Wow.
Yeah, take that, Athletic.
This feels
Dumb decision. Dumb decision.
How long have you been waiting to say that, Randy? Because they were looking right very early on, but now they don't know what they're talking about again. How about that?
Yeah. Take your analytics and put it where the sun don't shine.
I didn't know what you were going to say there. I was a little nervous, but
we're good. Your St. Louis Blues are hot. By the way, they're now a point behind Winnipeg and Colorado. So a Blues win tomorrow night at San Jose, which seems a fait accompli, right? San Jose has only won 2 games. And not playing or losses by Colorado and Winnipeg thrusts your Blues into second place in the Central Division. Didn't see that coming, did we?
No, not
Athletic.
No, definitely didn't see that coming. And just
sorry, JR. I'm not blaming JR here. I'm blaming dumb decision.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
This is a team that is playing more consistently. They are playing with effort, with energy. They are scrapping and they're shooting the puck, man. Like that it seems so simple.
You know,
right?
Carrie,
Sports ain't hard.
And you know what? Shooting the puck is something that Chris Kerber just adores. Obviously, the voice of the Blues here on 101 ESPN. And he got a chance to call a lot of those last night.
Leads the charge with Thomas. Down to Parayko. Parayko shoots. He scores! Colton Parayko! Join the rush from his own end. Buries it past Johansson. Out ahead, Kyrou. Partial break. In shoots. Score! Jordan Kyrou. Got the pass off the far wall. Brought it in. And finally scores on the breakaway. What a relief it'll be for him. Blues bring it to Krug. He goes back far wing. Score! Vrana looks to the rafters with a big thank you. Davis chips it ahead. Kapanen this time to the empty net. He's got it. He shoots it. He scores. So Buch Davis will get the assist. Kapanen the empty net goal. Up to Shen. He got it out of the zone. Shen on a partial break. Centers the Kyrou. He scores. And the Blues have put a handful on the Lightning. 5-0 the score.
And the Blues win it by a score of 5-0 last night at Enterprise Center over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pretty good team. Now, granted, they don't have their goalie, Andrei Vasilevsky, but it's still 5-0 against Tampa Bay. It's an NHL team. And, man, what an impressive performance by the Blues. By the way, it could have been 7 or 8-0. Because the Blues, Kevin Hayes had an unbelievable opportunity. Great play by Tampa to knock the puck out of the crease. Vrana had an opportunity in the first period that was sensational. So the Blues played exceptionally well. Outshot 30-29, but man, they played well last night.
26 blocked shots, too. And that shows when you're willing to sacrifice your body. We've talked about that. That is what Berube likes to see from his players. And to see that implemented by the players this season, I think is very important to their game. But it looks like you have a more well-balanced top 6 right now. I didn't know what to think exactly with splitting up Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas. But once again, Berube is like a magician. The way that he's able to just pull out all these tricks out of a bag, essentially, and make this work. He has the Midas touch of figuring out what works out with these lines. Because if you think about it, when you had Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas and Pavel Buchnevich all together on the line, then it was really easy for defensive systems to focus on them and shut them down. And maybe that's what led to the lack of offense early on. But now, with you splitting them up, it's a very more balanced top 6 that you're seeing right now. And by the way, the top 4 defensemen looking exceptional as well.
Speaking of which, Krug, those 2 assists were outstanding.
Beautiful.
The pass to Kyrou was outstanding. The pass to Vrana was outstanding. Just understanding. Come on, when we play. Come on, join the party, man. Like, we want everybody involved, and that's what the Blues are. Everyone is doing their job. Everyone is engaged. And I would say I think it started, like I said, that fourth line for me, you know, we talked about it a few games ago, how much energy and effort they played with, and they seemed to be the catalyst for the team. And now it feels like all of the other lines are saying, oh, okay, I guess that is how we should be playing, and they all are playing in that way.
And Curbs mentioned last night during the broadcast that in the pregame, Craig Berube had identified the fourth line as our identity line. Brooke, you talk a lot about what's our identity here. Well, when Craig Berube is going to coach a team, that is going to be the team's identity, for better or worse. And you better have the guys to present that identity, and that fourth line sure does right now. Yeah,
they do. They look exceptional right now. But this group is just really humming. And this is what you were hoping to see, that it was going to, it's nice. They're like bees right now, just humming along, all working together.
And then like bees, they sting you.
There you go.
Ooh, there you go. Are we working with someone here? Are we cooking?
Yeah, let's work.
We're cooking something up right now.
Yeah.
We're working on that. But you like everything you see, and you mentioned Torrey Krug, CD, and what he was able to do these past few games looks really, really good. If you look at that pairing of him and Justin Falk, a combined, let's see, what was it? They were minus 17 combined through 14 games last season. This season, a combined plus 19. Just to show you the progression. And maybe with this whole new defensive system, we did need to be a little bit patient to see how this would all play out. But I think the offensive spark we're seeing right now is the defensemen really joining in on things offensively and joining the rush, and you're starting to see that all come together as a group.
Do you guys, when number 48 plays, does he stand out to you? Do you just notice? And it's not all the time. And Perunovich only played, 13:45 last night. He was a +1. He didn't dent the score sheet. But he just seems to be a noticeable guy to me when he's playing.
Well, I think those guys are important. The guys that you notice that stand out, that are playing and doing everything in the right way, those are the guys that you say, okay, they start to gain more time, they gain more trust of the coach. And, you know, there's a reason why he's probably playing and Tucker isn't. I mean, you just get more opportunities the better you do every single day.
Meanwhile, let's point out that the Blues will play tomorrow night at San Jose, 8:30 pregame, 9:30 face-off here on 101 ESPN as they start a 4-game trip to the Western time zone. Actually, right now, I think Arizona's in the Mountain time zone as we speak, but everybody else are playing Anaheim, L.A., Albert played there, Anaheim. Anaheim, L.A., San Jose, all in the Pacific time zone. Matthew liked it.
That gets me every freaking time. I don't know why.
Bang. Marquette knocks off Illinois 71-64. Illini giving a top 5 team a good run, and you got to be happy about that because you got, in a month or so, you've got bragging rights, McBride and Son bragging rights game. So you just want to be able to give a good team a nice run, and Illinois did that against Marquette last night.
I want to win, Randy. I'm greedy. Giving a team a run is cool.
So you're not happy being tied 52-52 with 10 minutes left with Marquette? Marquette's a good team.
I don't care. They win. I'm about wins and losses. I don't really care about point spread. I don't care. I don't get into that part of the game. I want to know, did you win or did you lose? And if you lost, then you got to be better next time.
Now, I will let Matthew and Carrie go here because did you notice our late night text exchange going on?
I did see that.
They can get a peek inside the curtain of what happens around 10:15.
Yeah. So
pretty much every other day.
Brooke and I went over to Enterprise Center. I get home and I sit down, and all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up. And I wasn't even watching. Okay, go, Carrie.
Well, Rocc sent the message, said, whoa, that escalated quickly, and he was referring to...
Draymond tried to kill a guy last night.
So here's the issue.
On national television.
Let me tell you something. Rudy Gobert is 7'10". Like, he is 8 feet tall. The fact that you let another man grab you around your neck and drag you like a rag doll and beg for anyone, please help me, Lord, somebody, get him off me. The fact that you're 7'5" and can't get somebody off of you speaks volumes to me of you as a man and then as a basketball player. He would not have survived walking across the street in the 90s, let alone playing basketball.
Your thoughts on getting cheap shot chokehold when you're trying to separate two players and a guy comes around you and decides, I'm going to assassinate you right now, you dirty Frenchman.
Here are my thoughts. don't touch Clay or Steph. If you don't want to get choked, don't touch Clay or Steph. And that's the rule. That's the only rule that matters. No,
He's breaking up a fight between Clay and another player.
Matter.
It does matter.
So here's the thing.
Facts matter.
You grab your own teammate and pull your own teammate off. You do not touch Clay or Steph.
No, see, when you're 8 feet tall, you separate the players, and then you do one of these.
And this is what you do. You grab your own teammate and say, hey, man, get the hell away from here because this guy's crazy and we're not going to touch Clay or Steph. Or I'm going to get choked the hell out and try to figure out what. Dude, this is a man.
But I'm sorry. You're supposed to be prepared. You're supposed to be prepared during an NBA game. Hold on a moment. You're supposed to be prepared during an NBA game that a guy's going to come from across the court.
Let me tell you something.
And put you into a full WWE style sleeper hold.
Ted DiBiase style.
100%.
100%. $1 million man.
You're supposed to expect
Put him down. You should.
You should be prepared.
If you touch Clay or Steph, you should know. This is a warning.
Where's that in the video room?
You saw it when he punched Jordan Poole. You think that was just cuz?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Oh,
it jumped up a notch. It did, didn't it?
Okay, I'm watching the video right now. Thompson's shirt got ripped?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You don't touch Clay or Steph.
So why not go after Jaden McDaniels?
I do have a question, though. Is it necessary to do the chokehold? Or could they have just done something else, maybe a little bit differently?
That I've learned in my life, in my lifetime.
I think it's necessary.
Here's the thing that I've learned in my lifetime. When there's a fight, there ain't no rules. So you do what you got to do to survive. And if you don't like it, fight better. That's
even
the rule.
below the belt.
Whatever you got to do.
I know Draymond likes to do below the belt sometimes.
Yeah, man, he didn't kick anybody this time, but he just choked the guy.
That's beautiful. And, hey, congratulations to the Missouri Tigers, number 9 in the country, according to the College Football Playoff Committee.
Yeah.
Highest ranked 2-loss team. And if we had the 12-team playoff now, the way the ratings are set up, Mizzou would play Alabama in the first round. But we don't have the 12-team playoff. But congratulations to the Tigers. They're having a great year. All right, it is Hump Day. It is Wednesday, and that means it's Ask Uncle Randy Day. The text line is open, 314-399-9646, 314-399-YO-HO. Maybe you have some family questions as we approach the holidays. You know, Thanksgiving is just a week from tomorrow, so maybe you have in-law issues that you need to discuss. That's what we're here for. So send us a text. And by the way, you can watch us on our Air Comfort Services studio cam, or our Air Alliance team studio cam. I'm sorry. Just go to YouTube and type in 101 ESPN STL. And the Air Alliance team studio cam is there for you to see us. Ask Uncle Randy coming your way on 101 ESPN.
399-9646. It's Ask Uncle Randy on 101 ESPN.
I've been around, you know.
All right, it's time for Ask Uncle Randy here on 101 ESPN. Get your text in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646, 314-399. Yo-ho. Matthew.
What happened?
Oh, that was a...
What was that?
I was trying to get to Matthew. Did I mess up? Oh,
Yeah.
314-399-9646,
Yes.
314-399.
Yo-ho. There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry about
we
that.
hold each other
was
accountable
quick.
here, Randy.
My mind was elsewhere because Matthew wanted to say something ahead of time. What did you need to say, sir? It looked like you were headed to the microphone.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to read the Uncle
Let's
Randy's.
do it then. Let's do it.
Don't mess up a yo-ho on my account, please.
Okay. By the way, next Wednesday, we should prepare and get our power rankings ready for our annual Thanksgiving sides draft.
I won't. Can I
You're
submit
out
mine?
next?
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah, just give us your big board.
Okay, I'll submit
Mel.
mine. I won't be here.
Okay. Good for
That's
you.
the 22nd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want us
be
to
here.
draft on your behalf?
That's what we're doing. Yeah, just give us
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
take the next one available.
All right.
Draft the
Best
day
available
before.
athlete.
Should we just draft the day
Okay,
before?
to be fair, we won't let Rocc do it.
No.
So you have a better chance.
Should we just draft the day before?
Tuesday? You're going to be here Tuesday?
I'll be here Tuesday.
Okay,
Let's do it Tuesday.
Very last food
Sounds
draft
good to
that we
me.
There you
did.
go.
Last food draft that we
That
just
was a
did.
candy draft.
Scoreboard.
I like
Scoreboard.
it.
Grimsley.
Tell her, Rock.
Excuse you?
I won the last food draft, so I mean, I don't know why you're throwing shade right now.
You got lucky.
That's because all of us forgot to retweet and all of his friends voted for him.
They don't ask how, Brooke.
Just ask how many.
All right, Carrie.
I was right behind you.
You were. Good job. Dear Uncle Randy, my 10-year-old's really getting interested in basketball, so I'm starting to wonder on his training schedule, how often do we go to the gym and how often do I take him for MMA training? Carrie, do you want to
Yeah,
weigh in on that?
I think that I would defer to my cohort here, Carrie
How old
Davis.
did he say he
10.
was?
10-year-old, he's getting really serious about basketball. How often should he take him for, wrestling training as opposed to basketball
Not
training?
MMA, not wrestling.
MMA training.
MMA.
Well, MMA, wrestling, all of that is very good for the core and stability, and it depends on what position. I mean, I've learned in
Well,
my...
he's talking about the last night's game, Draymond.
Oh, that game. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
MMA.
Well,
so
you
you
should-
basketball and MMA.
Oh, you should do both.
Yeah.
You don't want to be choked out.
Yeah.
You have
If
to be
you're-
ready.
You gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta be. You should do. Yes. He's interested in basketball. Get him some MMA training. 'cause
Yeah, you better, 'cause
You don't
you
want
always gonna have
Draymond
Draymond out there.
to choke choke you out.
Yeah.
If you're Rudy Gobert, the first thing he should be doing when he gets back to Utah is Googling MMA classes. How self-defense classes is what the hell Rudy should be looking up. How to defend myself. Please.
All right.
Uncle Randy, how do I best help my wife deal with the stress of hosting everyone for Thanksgiving?
If you have any cooking ability, take advantage of that. And basically, you could kind of be, if she's stressed out by making so much food, act as a sous chef, and B, as a cleanup person. So if she needs ingredients, you be there. But as soon as she uses a pan or a dish and then it's discarded, either put it in the dishwasher or clean it and get it ready for its next use. But just keep things clean and efficient, because it's a hassle for one person to, for example, make macaroni and cheese and have the cheese in a bowl when you have to use the bowl again for stuffing or something like that. So just try to keep everything clean for her. And then she's going to get stressed, so make sure that you have some Maker's Mark whiskey on hand.
I was going to say the stress is inevitable.
Well, then.
It's going to be inevitable. And there is a thing as too many cooks in the kitchen, so maybe just asking how you can help. And like you said, Randy, and setting things up. I think that's always
That's a
very
key.
helpful.
Yeah. And then once the hay is in the barn, as the coaches say, then there's nothing you can do to help with the stress of the in-laws.
Speaking of that, this one blew my mind. I can't believe this is a thing. Good morning, Uncle Randy. How would you deal with my parents and in-laws, quote unquote, keeping score on how often they get to visit our newborns? My wife and I feel like we've kept everything pretty consistent, but we keep getting guilt tripped.
Well, every day on this show, you hear Carrie Davis say, I don't like to lose. So if your parents and her parents are, or his parents, if they are competing over the affection of your kid, that's good for you. So you don't fight that battle and try to get them to stop competing, because you have free babysitters and you want them to be available for you. So as much time as they can spend with your youngster, especially if you're working and they can act as free daycare, you take advantage of it.
That is a very valid point, sir. I mean, I didn't think about that. I was going to tell them, hey, we gotta be mature adults here. But if you want to be here,
voice of reason.
Go ahead. We're going to go out and hang out by ourselves or together for an hour or two.
Or nap.
Or sleep, right? You have fun. Do whatever you want to do. You got it.
Yeah.
As often as you'd like to come by. Or make it easy. I'll just bring them to you. How about that?
Right. And first come, first serve. I think that's a good rule of thumb. First come, first serve. And so you have to call ahead and maybe even just have a little chart, a monthly chart for which grandparent gets the kids on what date.
That sounds like a lot
Like a
of
Google
work.
Doc.
Well, just set up, and everybody signs in.
Okay,
Yeah.
can we spin off a hypothetical then based off that one?
Yeah.
What happens if you have one pair of parents who are always just showing up 10 a.m. every morning, and another parents who
That's
feel like they
absurd.
don't want to be intrusive, and so they're always like, well, call us over, and so they feel like they never get to see the kids because
Boundaries.
they're the ones who back off,
there's
and the
gotta
other
be
ones
boundaries.
don't. Okay.
Yeah, there's got to be boundaries. You just can't have the parents showing up with you walking around in your pajama pants and no shirt. You just can't get at 10 in the morning. That just can't happen. So, there's got to be boundaries. There has to be a text or a call and communication before the parents arrive on the scene.
Always call.
And then a
Always
duel in the
call.
lawn between the parents.
Duel. I love it.
Yeah, 10
For
steps.
who gets to go in
Yep.
and help.
The amount
see the
with
kids
one
that
of those
day.
soft, what's it called, the gun over there? They can duel.
airsoft guns?
Yeah,
Yeah.
airsoft. They can duel with those.
I don't know. Those hurt.
I know.
The amount of MMA training that Carrie's gonna. I mean, come on, we got to get somebody on the show here
Yeah,
because
that's
we're
what
about
you
to
give
we're about
the
to move
parents.
stuff right now.
That's what you give the parents for this holiday season. MMA
classes.
training,
We're about to
so
move
they
through
can
it.
duel it on the lawn.
about to
Duel
move
it out.
classes. Duel on the show.
You know
A
what? You can do
duel.
it. You can get one
Text
of those.
in if you got an MMA class, we can come take a look at.
Have you guys seen those octagon trampolines with the net around them?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That could be their MMA ring, like a fight, a cage match between parents.
Yes.
Whoa.
Just have that up in your lawn.
Okay, we gave this person every answer in the book.
Dear Uncle Randy, my boss is a micromanager. How do I deal with him always being on my butt?
Well, I would say there's two things you can do here. Number one, let him do all the work, which is always good. Or number two, if he wants to do the job.
You know what? Here you go. You take it.
Yeah,
Do it wrong and let him fix it.
You want to micromanage? You can micromanage, baby. Or the other thing that you can do is just and this is fun, but I've had to do this before with a micromanager boss before, is make sure that every single detail is covered before you start. And it drives them crazy because then they realize they're micromanagers.
I don't know if they will ever realize.
I don't think so either.
I think that that's kind of a character flaw in certain ways.
My
and
thing
if you
was,
want to
though-
micromanage.
Yeah, Brooke, my thing was, though, I've been doing it a long time, and the person actually would walk into the studio and try to tell us how to do our job. And finally, I had to say, look, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm good, okay? And the person stayed away. But, yeah, you don't – it was at this station. You don't want – in this business – I don't want somebody telling me what segment to do or what to say or something like that. So I you know what I played? I say I hate playing this card, but I love it. I say, you know what? I've been in this town longer than every owner, every general manager, every coach, every program director. And I'm going to be here after you're gone. So I play that card, and then that kind of shuts them up.
You know,
And I know that's a big ego baller play. But
Sometimes
I do it
sometimes
anyway.
you got to remind yourself of who you are.
Yeah.
Randy doesn't like the card, but
Yeah.
it is laminated in his back pocket.
It sure is. You bet it is.
But to your point, Randy, is micromanagers typically when they are doing that, they kind of want you to question yourself so that you will rely on them and their thoughts. It's kind of retraining you where
Yeah.
you'll rely on them where it's like, okay, wait, I'm about to do something. What would this manager want me to do? That's the whole purpose of micromanaging is where you think of them instead of just relying on your gut or even your abilities to actually do something or accomplish something.
And this was a nice guy. I think he just didn't know how to be a good manager. It happens.
It happens.
He got fired, so I guess he wasn't that great.
Uh-oh.
Uncle Randy, the fam and I are headed to Disney World next week.
Oh, Joe Vitale, thanks for listening.
Am I insane for going right around Thanksgiving or on
no,
Thanksgiving?
it's gonna be
It's actually
fun.
going to be. It probably would it be less people there?
Well, it's supposed to be a huge travel weekend. I would think families will wind up there. But if you
Disney
like
World?
energy, if energy is a thing that you like, now I would get that. Joey always talks about getting the pass to get in line. Should we text? What's that? Is it
Fast
called
pass.
just a fast pass?
Fast pass.
Yeah. Make sure you get the fast pass because you don't know how many people are going to be there, so that you don't have to. You don't want to stand in line if you have an 8-hour day at Disneyland or Disney World. You don't want to be standing in line for 2 of them for one ride, and then the ride takes 2 minutes, and then you have to get in another 2-hour line. So get the fast pass. But no, you aren't insane because the kids have the time off. The kids are going to love it, and it's going to be a memory that will stay with them and with you forever. So, no, you are not insane for utilizing your kids' days off to have a fun time.
As an adult, I would love to go back to Disney now. I feel like as a child, I didn't appreciate it
Brooke,
as much. No, I
with
would
all
hate
due
it.
respect, you have to pay this time. Or
Ow.
someone with you has to pay this time as an
You're
adult.
right.
As a child, you were on someone else's dime. As
And
an
if I
adult,
got tired, somebody got to carry me. It was great.
Trust me. As an adult, it is not nearly as
Okay,
much fun.
Carrie, you have not done this. Brooke, you have not done this.
Okay.
You both have Michelle Smallman's number. Michelle Smallman works for Disney. Just saying.
Oh, she can get us the
I
good
gotta call
stuff.
Michelle. There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Sounds like
There
a
you
plan.
go.
Michelle,
So-
I'm hitting you up today.
I had a sister who worked at those parks for a decade. I went once. I really did not take advantage of that. Dear Uncle Randy, my boss wants me to be more extroverted and do more to lead my peers, but I'm an introvert and being a leader exhausts me. How can I find a better balance of being in the center of the ring without hurting myself mentally?
This is one of the great sports questions that I ask people all the time. Is leadership a learned activity or an innate activity? I think you are. Now, you can learn leadership skills, but if you are an introvert, you can't turn yourself into an extrovert. And if you don't have leadership skills, you can learn leadership skills, but if you don't have a leadership personality, you are going to be a leader. Now, Carrie, you weren't the star of that offense in Pittsburgh, but you were a leader because you were born with leadership skills.
Yeah.
And there are great people that you would think are quarterbacks, that you would think are leaders that just aren't. And it's not, and the boss has to learn this at some point. I feel bad for your boss because you can't just make somebody a leader.
I agree with that. I think that's something you're born with. As you said, it can be learned, but when you're born with that, or that's just innately inside of you, it comes off as more genuine. It's more passionate, and it's more accepted, I think, from those that are listening to you. And it's a difficult task for someone that doesn't want to be in that role to be thrusted into that role because it will always be awkward for him, and nobody wins in that situation.
Dick Vermeil, and I'm sure Mike Tomlin is this way too. Dick Vermeil was the quintessential leader. He was perfect. He's the best leader I've ever been around because he didn't run. He led the whole organization. But the great leaders are the people that surround themselves with great people and let them do their jobs. They don't micromanage. They don't ask somebody who doesn't have leadership ability to be a leader. What they do, and this was Coach Vermeil's credo, surround yourself with great people, let them do their jobs, and tell them you love them. And if you do that, doesn't matter where you work, whether you're running a football team or whether you're running a radio station or whether you're running a bank or a car dealership or a restaurant, if you do that, you're going to win.
That is the biggest thing, right? It's even with friendships. You are who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with a lot of people who are accomplished, who are go-getters, then that's also going to affect you too. I always grapple with when you're talking about if you're born with it or if it's something you learn, because you could point to a lot of social behaviors you get those from your parents, right? And the environment. But we've also seen a lot of great leaders who maybe didn't have the best environments growing up. And I do think it's something that you're born with. And you talked about Dick Vermeil. Of course, I didn't get to see him here when he was coaching, but when I was able to meet him for the first time, it was like a magnetic energy.
Yes.
It's so unique. When you meet a great leader and somebody who has led a lot of people and they did a great job of it, like Dick Vermeil did, there's something magnetic about them, right?
Yeah. And when you're around somebody, like give us the core tenets of Mike Tomlin's leadership, because he told you every day, I'm sure.
It is what it is. You're supposed to be who you are supposed to be. Take care of your business. No excuses, no explanations. Just take care of your business day to day, and let's not make any excuses about it. Nobody cares about your problem. We're going to take care of it. And just honesty and openness, I think, from Mike T was one of the things that really brought players in and brought them closer to him.
And you carry that stuff because you talk about it. You carry it throughout your life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do
and
what you're supposed to do.
Peyton Manning, that was another great leader.
Right. And
you got to be around him, too.
Tony Dungy as well. Tony Dungy, like I said, is probably, I don't think that man raised his voice above this level right here.
Yeah.
But every person, when he spoke, had eyes glued on him and was locked in.
And if you do want to get some leadership tenets, if you want to learn leadership, both of Tony Dungy's books are sensational with what he talks about in terms of leadership. Matthew, is that all we got? Give us one more. Come on, is there one more good one?
Randy's
We're having fun. No, he wants us to take a break. Okay.
Wow. He cut us off.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to give you one anyway. 7:31. Okay, it's 7:31. Okay. I'll give you one later.
And Rudy Gobert was grabbing Clay. That's why he got choked.
Okay.
So we know.
Some NFL teams that were below 500 earlier are now a threat, and we're going to tell you who we think is the most dangerous of the early season busts next on 101 ESPN. Hey, if you're getting ready for Thanksgiving, and we all are, aren't we? I want you to head to Schnucks. And Thanksgiving can get pretty expensive, but you can save a bunch of money at Schnucks. They have great low prices on thousands of items across the store, and not great low prices for a week, but great low prices that stay low at Schnucks. As you're shopping for Thanksgiving, look for the red tags on the items that are all over the store. And as we talk about great prices and Thanksgiving, I have to tell you about what Schnucks is doing with their turkey prices. They're bringing them back to 2019 prices. A Schnucks whole frozen turkey, just 79 cents a pound. Limit one per customer with a $25 purchase, not including the price of the turkey. If you like those turkey prices back in 2019 when the Blues won the Stanley Cup, Schnucks is matching those prices in 2023. Take advantage of that while supplies last. And on top of those great low prices and awesome turkey deals, well, you can even save more money with Schnucks Rewards. You get 2% back on every single purchase, plus tons of digital coupons in the app that'll save you even more. Download the Schnucks Rewards app to start earning points on all of those Thanksgiving holiday essentials. And for all of the Schnucks Rewards members out there, this is a great time to spend all of those Schnucks Rewards points that you've been saving all year and get ready for your Thanksgiving feast at Schnucks.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues with a big win last night, 5-0 over the Lightning. Jordan Kyrou, the leading scorer for the Blues, as he breaks through with 2 goals. Also last night in action, number 24 Fighting Illini facing off against the number 4 Marquette. And the Illini gave him a good game, down 4 at half, tied 52-52 with 10 minutes left. But Marquette would then go on a 7-0 run across the next 6 minutes and then close it out over the final 4 for a 71-64 win. Not a lot of teams in action tonight. Blues are off today, back in action tomorrow. Coming up later on the show, Blues center Robert Thomas joins the show coming up at 8:15. You'll be able to hear that live or on our Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers podcast. Also, Jamie Rivers, 101 host and Blues analyst, joins the show at 9:15. That is your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff. Find your roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Hey, don't forget to check us out on the studio cam presented by the Air Alliance team. You can see it behind me if you're on the YouTube right now. Just go to YouTube, type in 101 ESPN STL, and we'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. And you can watch Brooks' interview with Katie Woo of The Athletic, learn a lot about the Cardinals at our YouTube channel as well, and a lot of interesting info presented by Katie.
Katie has a lot of great information and insight, and she was at the GM meetings prior to the stomach virus breakout, so we were able to capture her before then and before that debacle happened. Luckily, she was not affected, but Katie really gives some perspective on what Mozeliak and the Cardinals are really looking at when it comes to starting pitching and how they're going to allocate this money, not just for starting pitching, but also for the bullpen and for other uses as well. And she said something that I came away from the interview feeling maybe a little bit better, in just the sense of it is a good thing for them to continue to change their approach this offseason, because things are continuing to change all the time, and you have to be able to continue to adapt your approach. And that was her takeaway from how they are looking at things this offseason. So it should be a good thing. Hopefully, they can go out and get some people. I know some people were freaked out in the interview because she mentions that maybe they wouldn't be able to get an Aaron Nola or even a Yamamoto. I think Yamamoto's definitely been out of this conversation, but I don't know. It'll be a huge wait and see. I just want them to spend the money.
Me too. As the Cardinals were coming down the stretch, the NFL was getting going, and we made our determinations about good and bad teams in the NFL. And we made determinations after the first month of the season about the Browns, who were 2-2, the Steelers, who were 2-2, the Bengals, who were 1-3, the Jags, who were 2-2, the Texans, who were 2-2, and the Vikings, who were 1-3. Now, all of those teams are either 6-3, 6-4, or 5-4, and all threats to make the playoffs. So, guys, among the teams that got off to bad starts that now are hot: Browns, Steelers, Bengals, Jags, Texans, Vikings. Who's the team that over the course of the last half of the season is going to be the one that will present itself as the one that nobody wants to play come playoff time?
Well, nobody wants to play is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I think they are still, even though they lost last week and they got a tough game tomorrow night against Baltimore, they got one of the best quarterbacks on this list, the best quarterback on this list. And so when you're looking at that, you have to say that that's the team that nobody would want to play, and you hope that Baltimore beats up on them this weekend, tomorrow, and they are unable to get back on the right track of things. The team that is most surprising, and I think we all could agree, it's the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
It's without a doubt. They are one game out of the lead in the division in the AFC South. They have already beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars head-to-head. They go into Cincinnati last weekend and pick up a huge win. And the few games that they've lost, I mean, you're looking at their last 2 games that they lost against the Falcons and against the Panthers, they lost to them by a total of 4 points combined, both of those games combined. So they are a team with a rookie quarterback, with a rookie head coach that is figuring things out, and that AFC South has been for a long time under a division that really is a coin toss, pick it out of a hat to see who's going to win.
Stumble into it's like whoever stumbles into winning.
Whoever's winning towards the end. And again, like I said, they've already beaten Jacksonville in Jacksonville. They got the Cardinals this weekend, and then they play Jacksonville again, which could potentially be for the division lead. And so I think the Houston Texans are the most surprising team on this list, without a doubt.
I think the Texans, too. That is exactly who I have on there, just because of C.J. Stroud. He looks so poised right now. He looks so poised in his abilities for his rookie season. We know that we've been talking about how he's the massive, I believe, person who's going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, but now he's getting thrown into the MVP conversations as well because nobody is exactly running away with it at this moment. I think the Texans are a team that have definitely surprised people and the one who also scares you right now with their abilities. What about the Vikings, though? Do you think the Vikings are a team that could potentially do something here?
See, I think that I definitely think they can make the playoffs, Brooke, but I think if they're a playoff team, I don't think they'll be able to do anything. They're 6-4, and I could easily see them as a 10-win team. They have 2 games left with Detroit at the end of the season. They have a pretty easy schedule, actually, and so they could be a 10-win team. But with what they aren't great defensively. They're good. They don't have a great running game, and we really don't know about Dobbs, even though we love him. I can see them making the playoffs, but I can't see them being a team that anybody's really afraid of.
I feel the same way, and I think that this is a surprise. I mean, when Kirk Cousins went down, you were like, oh, this is a wrap for this team. This season is over. They trade for Joshua Dobbs at the trade deadline, bring him in. He doesn't even know his teammates' names in his first game and goes out and wins that game and then wins the next game. They are a team that is extremely surprising, but I don't know that they have enough. They will get better when Justin Jefferson comes back and is healthy, but I don't know that they have quite enough to make a run in the playoffs.
Guys, I think the team that I wouldn't want to play in the playoffs is the Cleveland Browns. They already have the best defense in the league, and now Deshaun Watson is coming around. And even though they lost to Nick Chubb, Ford and Kareem Hunt are fine in the running game. Amari Cooper is still there and a threat. Watson has thrown 3 touchdown passes and just 1 pick in his last 3 games, so he seems to be rounding into form. And we've seen Deshaun Watson lead teams to the playoffs and lead the league in passing yards even though he didn't have any weapons. If Deshaun Watson is protected and is playing the way he has been capable of in the past, I think that team is a real threat. And by the way, I don't want to dismiss the Steelers here because one thing about the Steelers, number 1, they have great defense. Number 2, their quarterback in the second half of fourth quarters is a stud. You might not want Kenny Pickett for 3.5 quarters, but for the second half of the fourth quarter, you want Kenny Pickett.
Well, I want Kenny Pickett to do it all 3 quarters prior to the fourth.
But they're 6-3. Yeah, they're 6-3 because of his clutch ability.
Yeah, well, they're also 6-3. They come back in the fourth quarter because of his inability.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Just do it the whole game. I think the Steelers have figured some things out in terms of running the ball. They've played great defense. Minka Fitzpatrick has been out for the last couple of games with a hamstring injury, but they are a defense that is going to get after the quarterback, create turnovers, and make it hard for a quarterback and an offensive coordinator to try to figure out how to get points. I love what they do defensively. We talked about it. This AFC North division is the best division in football right now. They are, and you potentially could have, as crazy as it sounds, maybe all 4 teams making it into the playoffs, and then just the division winners of the other divisions making it. So it's going to be intriguing to see how this plays out. They're going to beat each other up. The Steelers are the only team that's undefeated in the division, too. So they have that going for them if they continue on that path.
Now, you guys mentioned Houston. Listen to this Jacksonville schedule. Jacksonville's 6-4, and they're really good. They play Tennessee this weekend. Then they're at Houston, tough. Home against Cincinnati, tough. At Cleveland, tough. Home against Baltimore, tough. At Tampa, should be a win. Carolina at home should be a win, then at Tennessee. So they should be a 10-win team, but, man, they're going to be beat up come playoff time. They're going to go through the gauntlet here.
Yeah, they are. That stretch of 4 or 5 games right there where they're playing the AFC North, those games that they have to play, it's going to be a tough battle for them. And then you add in their division rival with the Texans, who I said they've already lost to at home. It's going to be a tough task for the Jaguars, who they're a team that I think everyone picked to win the division and be that team on the rise. One of their receivers just got in a little bit of trouble over the weekend, so they got some things they got to get corrected.
All right, so you got to be pinned down to one of these teams. I'm taking Cleveland as the team that nobody wants to play. Browns, Steelers, Bengals, Jags, Texans, Vikings. Come playoff time.
I'm going to just go with the Texans right now. I'm going to ride the hot hand with C.J. Stroud. And you were talking about the schedule. Looking at the Texans' schedule, now they're going to face the Cardinals. Then after that, the Jaguars, the Broncos. The Broncos, I don't think you can exactly discount right now, especially defensively, what they were able to do. I still think, though, I like what they have cooking with C.J. Stroud right now.
This is going to be a homer pick for me. I'm going Pittsburgh.
There you go.
Nothing wrong
There's
with that.
nothing wrong with that.
They're always there.
I don't trust the Browns because of Deshaun Watson. Whatever magic he lost from leaving Houston to coming to Cleveland, that might be it. And whatever he lost, it's not the same, and he's not the same.
I, too, don't trust Deshaun Watson.
I said to lots of people like
I
this.
do not as well.
So, yeah, I don't
Be careful
trust
of his Instagram. Then you're fine.
I don't trust him on the field to do what he's supposed to do. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh.
All right. This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Coming up, get your text into the Air Comfort Service text line. I better be into it this time, right? 314-399-9646, 314-399. Yo-ho! Take it or leave it next on 101 ESPN. You know, a lot of times when we're buying a car, we go into a dealership and say, okay, I have an amount of money that I want to pay for a payment every month. And they'll come up with a number for you. And it's really not the best deal you can get because they aren't really competing. You go into the dealership and they say, oh, here's what we can give you too. And they're going to come up with the best deal for them. They aren't really competing against anybody. And that's where AutoLoanPro.com comes in. You know, you don't have to take the financing from the dealership. You can go outside. And if you go to AutoLoanPro.com, they're working with over 50 lenders to help you get the very best financing. So when you buy that car, and cars are expensive these days, your payment will be even less because you worked with AutoLoanPro.com. And you know what? You might be thinking, I don't know if I can get credit right now because I've had a rough go of it. I missed some payments on credit cards. Well, life can put good people in bad circumstances. So instead of just selling you a car, the Auto Loan Pro Group is going to help you get your life and your credit back on track. If you're in the market for a new car or truck, don't just accept somebody's rate and don't just accept somebody's loan. Go to AutoLoanPro.com and get the best deal for you.
Time for Take It or Leave It.
Want to say something? Want to put it out there? If you like it, you can take it. If you don't, set it right back.
Get your text into 314-399-9646 and give us your Take It or Leave It.
Brought to you by Gloria Lou Realty. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com and start packing.
That's my final offer. Take it or leave it.
Okay, guys, time for Tioli. 314-399-9646. 314-399. Yo-ho! Take it or leave it. Like Dennis Rodman did late in his career, Draymond Green has become a detriment.
Leave it. Randy, I need you all to go look at the video. Rocc, especially you, because Rocc had the he said that Rudy Gobert was just trying to break it up. He grabbed Klay Thompson and was grabbing a hold of him. And so his teammate came and choked the hell out of him. I don't see the problem.
Well, here's the thing. There's a pattern here with what happened in the finals with kicking guys, with punching Jordan Poole last year.
Oh, that was last year.
And Steve Kerr said that affected that team all year long. And now you have this situation, and whether it's on the court or off, it is bound to affect that team like Rodman's activities did late in his career.
With all due respect, Jordan Poole probably needed to be punched.
Did that help the team? Did Draymond Green's actions benefit the team?
Well, he's not there now.
You don't have to punch somebody. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You probably should not.
Sometimes you should.
But sometimes if you're a grown-up, especially if you're working in a team activity, there are other ways. Use your words to go about.
That's the difference between this world and that world.
Well,
and the difference is when you're in a sports world and that's your job, that's not unexpected. Like, that's not something you look at and say, oh, my God, he punched him. People get punched.
Kerr thought it was a big deal.
Who?
Steve Kerr, the coach.
He thought it was a big deal because we saw it. That ain't the first time Steve Kerr saw somebody get punched in the face in practice.
He saw himself get punched in the face in practice.
Exactly. It's not the first time, and that wasn't the first time he saw it.
Here's the thing with Draymond right now. Yeah, it happens. Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan. Is the juice worth the squeeze with Draymond?
I think so. I mean, I think you have to have a guy on your team that is a little bit off and a little bit, uncontrollable to a degree. And then you have to have one person on that team that can control him. The person that can control him is Steph. Steph can tell him to, whoa, and Dre will stop. As will Klay. But Klay is so quiet, I don't think Klay gives a damn. But Steph can tell him, hey, chill out, we good. And Dre will snap back into reality, I'm sure, because of the respect that he has for those men. It's about respect.
He's going to get a long suspension. He
grabbed him around his neck, and I didn't have a problem with it. The man shouldn't have touched Klay Thompson.
It's not a typical basketball move.
Can I ask? Neither is grabbing a bear hug on your teammate. And so you can't be mad at me for the force that I used in comparison to the force that you used. You were using force as well. Now, if my force is greater, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Were the officials wrong then to throw him out?
No, okay. I didn't have a problem with him getting thrown out.
He was breaking rules.
He got thrown out, but Klay got thrown out too. So,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't. It is what it is, man. Take it or leave it. Bragging rights game. In a couple of, a month now?
Yeah, it'll be right before Christmas.
Harry's going to choke out a 7-footer.
Take it or leave it. First Mizzou fan that comes talking now. The bragging rights game will be one of the best games that it's been in a few years.
I'll take that, yeah. That'll be fun.
I need the old bragging rights that I knew that I went to. There was literally split half and half right down the middle. It was the most beautiful thing. Black and gold on one side, orange and blue on the other side. It was just outstanding. The fans were into it. You got the cheerleader competition where they got to hold the cheerleader up and see who wins. Like the fans get into it. It's a wonderful, wonderful event, and I'm hoping that we get back to the energy that we had years ago.
I've enjoyed the bragging rights here in recent years
it's
because
wonderful.
There's even been times, as you know, CD, that Illinois should have won or were the favorites to win, and somehow Mizzou comes out and surprises them. I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's important for it to continue here in St. Louis and to have it here, which I know that it is, but I'm just saying that having that here in St. Louis, it's the perfect situation.
And thanks to McBride & Sons for sponsoring the game. It's December 22nd this year, by the way, so plenty of time for Mizzou fans to get to that game and then get down to Orlando or Tampa for their bowl game, too.
And also you have wrestling, right?
on the.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you just snuck that in at the end there, right?
Yeah.
Wait, no, hold on.
He don't want you to say anything good about his program.
Oh, no, they're playing on New Year's Day.
It
New Year's
scares
Day.
Missouri fans. This is the oddest thing about Mizzou fans. I'm sorry, bro.
No, you're fine.
But they want you to not say good things about their program because it'll jinx them. But the moment you say bad things about it, what are you doing? Why would you look at what we're doing? Okay, you're going to be great. No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. It's kind of an odd thing they got going on.
I've picked that up here. It's like you're expecting for something bad to happen. So take it or leave it, guys. This is a very interesting quote that came out yesterday. Bob Nightingale had this from A's owner John Fisher. He was able to speak to 3 protesters at the owners' meetings in Texas, and he told them, "It's been a lot worse for me than you. Take it or leave it." That is one of the stupidest things that you could say. One of the most tone-deaf things that you could say.
I believe he's the richest baseball owner. Yeah, no, it hasn't been bad for you.
No.
And you can afford to build your own stadium. You don't have to ask for those people's tax dollars to build your business facility. Yes, it's the most tone-deaf thing ever.
Exactly.
Sell the team.
Here's the thing. So the A's move to Las Vegas is expected to be approved this week, and you're speaking to protesters in that manner. It's been a lot worse for me than you. What are you talking
Brutal.
about?
Yeah.
How much money does he have?
Whoa!
What? Something like 13 billion, 14 billion, something like that.
We were just talking about the Browns. You may want to take that pick back. Deshaun Watson is out for the season.
What?
Oh, okay. They aren't
happened?
dangerous anymore.
Season-ending shoulder surgery.
Oh, there's your career. That's all that guaranteed money down the drain. Shoulders don't get fixed.
This is from Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Broken bone in his throwing shoulder.
Yeah, he's done.
Wow.
So, yes, John Fisher's an idiot.
To go back to that one, yeah. Wow, that is very interesting about Deshaun Watson.
Is a bone a career ender as much as like a ligament or a muscle?
That
Depends.
broken bone, I don't think that's. It depends on what structural damage he has underneath that shoulder, that capsule.
Take it or leave it. You're concerned that Missouri will have a letdown over the next 2 weeks against Florida or Arkansas.
Oh, totally.
Sign every Mizzou fan in the world. Oh, my God. You all don't even like nice things, man.
Everybody is. Michigan's worried about playing Ohio State and having a letdown. Ohio State's worried about playing Michigan. Florida State fans are worried about a letdown. Every single school. Alabama had their Texas experience. They're worried about having a letdown against Georgia.
I don't think they have worries like Missouri.
Well, that's because they've won before. Missouri fans have never won the championship before. And they've been in situations like this where the team has not. They allowed 62 to Oklahoma in a Big 12 championship game. So how many did they allow to Auburn when Auburn ran over them, Matthew?
They gave up like 500 yards rushing.
Yeah, so it's happened to Mizzou. So there's a good reason for Mizzou fans to have some trepidation. By the way, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is one of the projections for Mizzou to take on Tulane. Kyle Bonagura of ESPN has them playing December 30th down in Atlanta. And Mark Schlabach has Mizzou and Texas in the Cotton Bowl. So neither of them have Mizzou in Florida on New Year's Day.
Take it or leave it. Neither Kelsey brothers playing in the Super Bowl this season.
Leave it.
I'm going to leave that.
Jason will be there.
You don't see Taylor Swift's boyfriend there?
I just don't. This weekend, it'll be an intriguing matchup. They play the Eagles this weekend, right? Aren't they playing the Eagles for Sunday, if I'm not mistaken?
Is that right?
I think so. So,
Would it be Sunday Night Football? Oh, no. Eagles Chiefs. Yeah,
Eagles,
Monday Night
Monday.
Football.
Monday Night.
Yes.
So, I think the Eagles are the better team. I actually thought they were the better team in that Super Bowl. They just found a way to not win it. I don't think the Chiefs are going to make it this year. Offensively, losing Eric Bieniemy, we talk a lot about Andy Reid is one calling the play. Eric Bieniemy looks to me like he was the one calling the plays, especially now since his starting quarterback is the leading passer in the NFL. Maybe he does know a little bit about offense, and maybe that's why this Chiefs offense doesn't look the same.
I'll take that.
Take it or leave it. Albert Hainsworth's contract just became the second worst in NFL history.
Take it.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Take it.
No doubt about it.
Did you feel bad for Deshaun Watson?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
That was
Just
quick.
ask. I had to ask.
He's got a pretty good life.
At $230+ million guaranteed, I'd like to think so.
Seeing Skip win the National League Manager of the Year, take it or leave it. The Cardinals picked the wrong young manager.
I'm going to leave that.
Yeah, I'll leave it too. You don't know how Skip would have performed here. Skip is he's a Tony guy. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that likes to have control, I think, of the situation. He's superb. Not saying that he's not a good manager or that Ollie is better or he's better, but he won a Manager of the Year. Skip just did. But I don't think that Skip's personality probably would mesh with being the manager of the Cardinals. I think there's probably a little bit too much pushback there for Skip.
I agree. I do wish that he was still a part of the organization because you always hate to lose somebody who is a very important part of the organization like Skip was. We talked about that before, what he was able to provide. I think that is a huge loss for the Cardinals, but either way, he was going to go somewhere. And he mentioned before that he wasn't ready to manage just yet, and it seemed like this was the right situation for him. Right time, right place for him going to Miami.
And if you look at the general lineup, the lineup that he trotted out there most to win Manager of the Year, okay, no or not no. Catcher, Nick Fortis. First base, Yuli Gurriel. Second base, Luis Arraez. A couple of batting titles. Shortstop, Joey Wendell. Third base, Gene Segura. Left field, Brian De La Cruz. Jazz Chisholm Jr., who was hurt for most of the year, was their center fielder. Jesus Sanchez in right, Jorge Soler. And then his starting rotation was Alcantara, who got hurt in the second half of the season, Luzardo, who was terrific, Braxton Garrett, Edward Cabrera, and Yuri Perez. They were not a star-laden squad that Skip led to 84 wins and the wild card spot. So congratulations to Skip. And that's not an affront to Ollie or the Cardinals. They were just in different situations. But the year before, in Ollie's first year, when they won 93 games, he had Adam Wainwright still throwing 180 innings. He had Michaelis having a great year. He had, obviously, Yachty and Albert and Nolan and Goldie. Little bit different team that Ollie had in his first year as opposed to Skip and his first year in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Thank you, Matthew. And thank you very much for your texts. We do appreciate them. Next up, if you're a high-level free agent pitcher with options, do you really want to come to the Cardinals? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Holiday stories from Shane Company customers.
My girlfriend thinks we're going to my parents' house to decorate the tree. She has no idea that I'm actually planning to propose. The whole family's in on it, and Shane Company helped me create the perfect ring and stay within my budget. I went with a classic ring with an oval diamond. I tell you, that diamond, I can't wait to see the look on her face.
Shop the largest selection of unique engagement rings in
Hey, can you believe it that Thanksgiving is a week from tomorrow? And with the holiday season just around the corner, want to make sure your home is ready for the holidays. And that's why you need to get in touch with Hoffman Brothers at 314-664-3011 or just go to hoffmanbros.com. They are going to be your anchor for home repairs this holiday season. They do it all. They'll check out your furnace. Give them a call. Get them out to your house. They'll clean your furnace. They'll take a look at it, make sure that it's in good working order, and then tell you what the future of your furnace is, especially if it's older. They'll tell you exactly how much time you have left. But you're going to need it for the cold weather. You don't want your furnace to go out, so get in touch with Hoffman Brothers. But they do so much more than working on your heating or air conditioning. They will take care of clogged drains in the shower or sink. And don't forget about your appliances, especially come Thanksgiving, refrigerators and ovens and stoves and dishwashers and microwaves, all of those things. They can fix them. And if they can't fix them, they've got them for you. They're a proud Mitsubishi Electric heating and air conditioning elite contractor. They're fantastic to work with. Hoffman Brothers is who the Carricker family uses all the time, and you should too. 314-664-3011 or at hoffmanbros.com. And Randy, it's the opening drive on 101 ESPN 807. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers and officially licensed Rolex jeweler. All right, so a lot of free agent pitchers are out there. Not as many as we anticipated there would be at the start of, in the middle of the season. Ohtani got hurt. Urias wound up with legal problems. And so the number of available starting pitchers in free agency has dwindled dramatically. But if you are one of the top guys, if you are Aaron Nola, or if you're Yamamoto, or if you're Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery or Sonny Gray, and you have similar offers from the Cardinals, the Phillies, the Padres, and the Braves, we can throw a lot of teams in there. Do you think the Cardinals hold an advantage if everything else is equal over the top teams that were in the playoffs this past season? The reason this comes up is because apparently Aaron Nola is being eyed by the Atlanta Braves. Mm-hmm. And that should be the Cardinals' number one target. Are the Cardinals really attractive for a pitcher right now?
Probably not as attractive as Cardinals and Cardinal fans think, in comparison to some of those other organizations that you just named. If you're the Atlanta Braves, if you are a pitcher and you're looking at this Atlanta Braves team, you're saying, oh my, that's probably. And Aaron Nola, playing in that division, got to see them a lot, knows exactly what that lineup provides. Yep. That gives you a glimpse into what could be helping you instead of hurting you in past years. And so when you're looking at all of the things that the other teams have right now, if all things are equal, you might look at Atlanta Braves. New York Yankees, maybe you're thinking the Cardinals are on the same kind of level as they are right now, but the Atlanta Braves would be probably the most intriguing one, knowing how well 100-plus games won and that they just got knocked out in the playoffs, and it was just an unfortunate turn of events for them. But they are a really, really good baseball team.
I still do believe that Busch Stadium is baseball heaven, and so is the Cardinals organization. But from an outsider's perspective, especially if you are a free agent starting pitcher, it looked like baseball hell this season, what you were able to experience. The 91 losses, also pointing back to everything, that whole public debacle with Wilson Contreras, that wasn't the media blowing up. That is something that it was a message that they put out there that they actually did just, a little over 30 games into the season. You have your free agent, and that's the key word here, your free agent catcher that you brought into the organization and you tried to move his position. If I am a free agent pitcher, position player, whatever, I paid attention to that story. And when I'm looking at all of the things, whether it's equal or not, I'm looking at how that situation was handled. That would be a little bit of concern. Not that all of a sudden you're a pitcher and you're going to become an outfielder. That, of course, would be absolutely crazy. I hope that wouldn't happen. But as any free agent, you'll be like, wait a minute. So you're going to spend all this money in me, but then if things don't exactly go as planned, then you might move me around or I might go to the bullpen. That doesn't sound like a situation I want to get into. So I think that would be a big concern. And if I'm a starting free agent pitcher, I would want to know, is that something that is going to be addressed? Are we going to be done with the mixed messages that maybe I saw publicly, the stories that came out this season? Is there going to be a real clear, defined role that I will be able to grow and thrive in? And also maybe what additions are you adding to the coaching staff? Because that's something else that I do believe players pay attention to. You heard Jordan Montgomery mention how much he cared for Maddox and how obviously he followed him around. Those are all different things that players do pay attention to. They want to go somewhere where they know they can thrive and grow.
There's a piece up at The Athletic by Chad Jennings talking about the supply and demand of pitching, and he lists the supply and the demand, and he has multiple buckets. In bucket one, highly motivated towards highest impact, Braves and Dodgers. He said those two are highly motivated and will outbid anybody for what they want. Dodgers after Ohtani, Braves apparently after Nola. Bucket two, he lists playoff contenders who lost their ace: Mets, Phillies, Padres, and Twins. He said there are 8 job openings, and he said to remain postseason favorites, the Phillies need to either re-sign Nola or replace him. The Mets traded away Scherzer and Verlander last season. The Twins lost Gray and Kenta Maeda this winter, and the Padres lost Snell, Seth Lugo, and Michael Wacha. Even if the Twins aren't likely to spend lavishly, the Phillies, Mets, and Padres sure might. And then he has organizations with a lot to prove: Red Sox, Cubs, Yankees, Cardinals, who he lists as retooling, and Giants. He said none of these teams made the playoffs, and there aren't exactly small market pushovers either. They're all looking to restore some lost shine. The Giants barely even had a rotation, and that was before Alex Cobb got hurt. The Red Sox and Cardinals have been open about their need for multiple starters. The Cubs could use some impact to top their decent rotation, and the Yankees are the Yankees. So the question is, when the music stops, are the Cardinals going to be able to have one of these top-line guys? I look at the list of teams that have need and the players that are out there, and that includes Nola, Yamamoto, Snell, Montgomery, Gray, Rodriguez. I think there might be too many teams interested in high-quality pitching for the Cardinals to be able to grab one.
That's what we said earlier. I mean, when you had the Shohei injury and when you had Urias, when those two situations happened, I said it then, that just shrunk the market of pitchers that are available, and there are more in need than there are more available. So the Cardinals are going to have to play in some waters that they have not shown an ability or a willingness to do in years past. Are you going to go above that number? If it's 25, are you willing to go 27? If it's 27, are you willing to go 29? If not, you're not going to be able to attain any of these starting pitchers, because whatever number, one of those organizations that have a familiarity, a comfortableness of paying that much money are willing to spend, you have to be able to match it.
I would be concerned. By the way, let me give you his tiers of pitchers: Nola, Yamamoto, Snell, and then his tier 2: Montgomery, Gray, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Stroman. I'd be concerned about a guy like Marcus Stroman being able to pitch in July and August when it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis and being able to maintain quality pitching. I think that it would take a lot out of a guy like Stroman, who's pitched in Toronto, he's pitched with the Mets, and he's pitched with the Cubs. He's never had to pitch at the big league level with the Heat here and try to be the man in September. So what I'm thinking, CD, along the lines of what you're saying, they need to trade for that number one. They need to go, and if they can get Dylan Cease or somebody else who doesn't appear to be on the radar, get him, and then sign from among Imanaga, Lucas Giolito, Wacha, Seth Lugo, Clayton Kershaw. That's not happening. Or take 2 for Jack Flaherty. Probably not. Wacha and Imanaga, probably. So it's going to be hard for the Cardinals. They might get starters, but you're not going to love it on opening day.
No, you're not. And I want to circle back to the Yankees thing, because CD, you sent this story last night, and it is very interesting. I know the Yankees have a lot of money to play with, and that is another appealing place to go to. But the things that Brian Cashman are saying about his players with Stanton, he basically said that he's predicting that he's going to be injured again. And that might be the case. Very much so. But still, you don't go out and publicly say that, because now it starts a whole kerfuffle. And his agent had some comments about things, too, about that whole statement by Cashman.
And that's Nolan Arenado's agent, by the way.
Exactly. And Yamamoto's.
Yep. Yeah.
It is.
So, yeah, if you're another player or another agent and this stuff is happening, I would think that will be a real detriment for the Yankees. Brian Cashman is becoming quickly a detriment for them.
He is.
Well, I know we got to get to break, but we can pretend like the Cardinals haven't done the same thing. They have with Wilson Contreras. They have with Tyler O'Neill. They have. It wasn't the GM or the president of baseball operations, but it was someone in that clubhouse or someone in this organization throwing people under the bus.
Right.
So players talk. And so that's something to keep in mind as well. New York, Cashman, what the hell is he doing? What the hell have the Cardinals done?
Yeah.
Because they've done something similar. It was just during the season.
Yeah. And by the way, George Steinbrenner did that pretty much every day when he was owning the team in the 70s and early 80s. That's today's Fresh Take. Coming up, Robert Thomas on the Red Hot Blues on 101 ESPN.
Sumner 1.
Thomas score!
Getting you inside the Blues locker room.
What a goal by Robert Thomas!
It's time now for Blues forward Robert Thomas on the opening drive.
Driven by Pure Performance, the only stop for all your aftermarket vehicle needs.
Randy Carricker, opening drive, 101 ESPN. Our jobs are easier and more fun when our teams are winning, and the Blues have won 5 out of 6, and they will play on the West Coast in San Jose tomorrow night. But we thank Robert Thomas, who joins us now here on 101 ESPN, for making our lives better and easier and happier. Robert, good morning and thank you. How you doing?
Doing well, guys. Thanks.
Robert, we talked to you about Pavel Buchnevich last week and his frustrations. Is he feeling a lot better now?
I think he's feeling a lot better. That's usually what a hat trick does. So, he's feeling a lot better. He's looking a lot better, and not that he wasn't looking good earlier, but just more relaxed and calm. And obviously, he's making a ton of great plays right now. So, comes with that confidence.
Have you ever been a part of a game where two guys got hat tricks in the same game?
No, I think that was my first one. I don't think I've ever seen that before, so that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. That was awesome that happened. I'm looking at your point streak. You got your 7 games with a point. How have you been feeling with your play?
Gosh, last week with the goal streak, now the point streak.
Listen, hold on, Robert. It didn't stop anything, so we're not going to even worry about it. You're going to take care of business tomorrow night as well. We believe that.
Yeah, no. Pucks have been going in, and guys have been making great plays. I mean, Perry had a great goal last game, and but yeah, no, it's been good. I think, our team's rolling. We're getting a lot of chances offensively, and it's been fun to be a part of.
Now, here's the thing, Robert. After you get your 8th point in the 8th game in a row, you have to give the opening drive credit for what happened.
All right, we'll see how the trip goes.
Okay, you just gave me a question. And you may not have heard this one before, but we all love David Perron. But is life easier in the room without two guys nicknamed Perry?
Definitely a lot easier. He was a loud one in the room, too. So
when Perron and Parayko were both here, did you have a different name for either Colton or David, or did you call them both Perry?
Perry. One kind of like with an A and one kind of with an E.
Oh, got it.
Like Perry and Perry.
Okay, got it. Okay.
There you go. Robert, I want to play off what CD was talking about superstitions and hopefully not jinxing you because it has worked out so far. Is there anything that you do that you have a routine? Are you a little superstitious about things?
I'm actually quite the opposite. I'm actually not superstitious at all. Actually, Kyrou told me yesterday was he's like, I think I found your superstition is that you change up everything every day. So I don't know how that made any sense, but it seemed to make sense in his head. So I guess that's my superstition.
If it works, it works, right? Well, Robert, I know us media members and fans are a little bit more obsessed with the line combinations and who's with who, but early on in the season, you, Pavel, and Kyrou were all together on the top line. Then head coach Craig Berube decided to split up you and Kyrou. What's the difference you've noticed since then?
Yeah, just different looks. I think Schenner's been playing really well, so he's been getting them a lot of chances, a lot of puck touches in good areas. So just a different look. I mean, depending on matchups who you're playing against, one of us is going to have a different look and some more chances to score. So I think it's worked out really well.
Robert, you got a great assist yesterday to Parayko. Were you surprised when you looked up and saw that it was him flying up the ice to receive that pass?
Not really. He's been skating really well. He's been jumping up in the play. He's confident in it, and I was a little shocked he got that pass. I was a little far ahead of him. Forgot his stick was 9 feet long, and he's like the incredible guy with the long arms. So, But yeah, no, it was a great play from him.
Robert Thomas with us on 101 ESPN. And Robert, you have to compartmentalize. Players and we as fans sometimes don't appreciate that. You guys have to put last night behind you if you win or lose. And we have a tendency, especially because we're doing a show the next morning, to have it linger. But that being said, when you're in a streak like you are right now, where you've won 5 of 6, are your days different than when you're in a streak where you lose 5 of 6?
Yeah, you're definitely a lot more happy, and you get some more time off. That's for sure. So, winning always equals that. So, yeah, it's been a good streak. I think most importantly for our team, we're winning the right way. We're playing the right way, and everyone's confident in it and playing well in our system, and it's given us good success. So, there hasn't been a fluke with the winning streak. So, we're pretty pumped about that.
You talk about getting more time off and it being a little bit easier, but I got to believe that Chief is really hard, whether you're winning or losing. And kind of if you're winning, that expectation to continue to do that can be just as difficult as when you're not having good games also.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how good you play, you can always do better. And he keeps that mindset and always tries to keep building you to get better and better each game. So, that's the way he rolls. And, it's found success for the last while.
Okay, a couple more things, Robert. Number one, you're going on a trip where you will have, I think, one of those days off in Arizona. Are you guys allowed to take your clubs with you on the road?
Not allowed to take the clubs, but I'm sure we'll find a way to get out there for one day.
Yeah, good. And then the other thing is you guys play Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, fly home from Phoenix. On one of those nights on this trip, will you or does somebody get the group together to have kind of a Thanksgiving meal, so kind of a bonding meal while you guys are out on a long trip like this?
Yeah, we're going to have a couple of team meals. I think we're going to do Thanksgiving when we get back. I think a bunch of us are getting together, so we'll do it, I believe, the day before the Nashville game. So we'll have plenty of time to celebrate it.
All right, Robert, last question for me. How's your fantasy football team doing? You're looking like,
it's been a tough year.
Who let you down? Do tell, boy. Let's talk about it.
All right. I took Kelsey and Mahomes first and second round.
Okay.
So my team name is the Swifties.
Okay.
There you go.
We just haven't clicked. I lost Mike Williams early with injury. That stinks.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm 3-7, so we're going in the right direction. I won the last 2. So.
Oh, you won the last 2. Well, you are trending in the right direction. That's a tough season.
It ain't pretty. It ain't.
But you know what? It's not like Robert Thomas hasn't been involved with a team like that before, where you come out of nowhere and win a championship.
It would be an epic comeback.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Robert. Have a great trip, and I don't know if we'll catch up to you on the West Coast or not, but if we don't, have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thanks, guys. You too.
Thank you. Take care. That's Robert Thomas, Blues Center, with us on 101 ESPN. Blues with a 5-0 clean sheet last night.
Oh.
Yeah, against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
5-0?
5-0.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah. And they'll play in San Jose tomorrow, and the trip takes them to L.A. on Saturday, Anaheim on Sunday.
And what was that?
Anaheim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then
I didn't know Albert was in studio today.
Yeah, so this and then Monday and Tuesday the Blues have off days in the Valley of the Sun before playing Wednesday night and then coming home for Thanksgiving on Thursday. So that's cool that the team's going to get together for Thanksgiving too.
So when the Anaheim Angles go across the country, do they play the Junkies?
They certainly do.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And, of course, when they play the Freeway Series, they play the Doyers.
Okay, obviously.
Yeah.
The
so
Doyers.
Anaheim against the Doyers. It is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Did we have a winner in the fight yesterday, or do we need a new fighter?
No,
okay.
I think you got 4 yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So
Thank you for reminding me of that.
I got you, buddy.
Appreciate that, CD. So we need a fighter, and if you want to text in, you can. 314-399-9646, 314-399 Yo-ho! With your name and the word fight, and you might be able to fight me if Matthew picks you. Next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Kerry, and I want to tell you about my great friends at STL Design and Build. They are a company that does extremely great work. As you know, I got my deck done a few weeks ago. It's been outstanding. Going out there, hanging out, seeing the sun and watching the sunset has been great for me. And this company has done a great job. They are a fantastic job. But the thing that makes them great is not only the work and the craftsmanship, but it's how they treat their customers, their clients. They are going to make sure that they treat you with the utmost respect. They truly believe in treating people how they want to be treated. Every step of the process, my project coordinator, Becky, was awesome. She kept me in the loop. She kept me understanding exactly what was going on. They have a builder trend app that you can go on and accept any approvals that you have or deny anything that you don't want to have. It's as simple as opening up your phone to go into Facebook and signing in, and boom, you're done. And here it is. They are an award-winning company taking home the top workplace award. They have won an award for Best Home Improvement Company. They truly believe in treating people how they want to be treated. Check them out online at STL Design and Build today. STLdesignandbuild.com today. That's STLdesignandbuild.com.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues last night with a 5-0 win over the Lightning. Jordan Kyrou with 2 goals in that game. Blues are off today before they are getting back in action tomorrow. You can hear Blues center Robert Thomas right here on 101 ESPN. Just go back to our Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers podcast later today, and you can download that. Coming up later on the show, 9:15, Jamie Rivers joins the show to talk about the Blues. That is your Sports Center update, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back to the opening drive. I am Kerry Davis, joined by Brooke Grimsley, and it is time for the fight. Am I on? Okay, there you go. Hey, welcome back to the opening drive. I'm Kerry Davis, joined by Brooke Grimsley, and it is time for the fight. Our fighter today is Marty. Marty, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing
great.
Wonderful. Are you ready to take on Randy Carricker?
Absolutely.
All righty, here we go. In the 2001 Stanley Cup playoffs, the Blues reached the conference final for the first time in 15 seasons. Which team did they sweep in the semifinals? Is it the Stars, the Sharks, or the Avalanche?
I will go with the Stars.
Which famous draft bus holds the NFL record for consecutive games with an interception thrown at 13? Is it Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell, or Akili Smith?
I will say Akili Smith.
Rocc. This is a terrible question. I see what you did here. Who holds the all-time NBA record for missed field goals? Is it LeBron, James, Dirk Nowitzki, or Kobe Bryant?
Kobe Bryant.
Which 80s defense that did not win a Super Bowl holds the Super Bowl era record for takeaways in a season? Is it the Seahawks, the Broncos, or the Eagles?
I'll go with the Broncos.
All right, we'll double check our score, and we will bring in Randy Carricker.
Marty, how you feel?
Not good. I was actually going to do my superstition as discussed on most of them and hope to win. I know Robert Thomas didn't know superstition, but my superstition is hope and maybe get lucky.
Okay. Well, I mean,
there you
that's,
go.
you got to do something. There's nothing wrong with somewhat of a superstition.
I feel like everybody has one, right? No, just me.
I mean, don't walk under a ladder, I guess that's
Yes.
probably a good one, but...
My camera is foggy on YouTube. Or am I
Umbrella,
going
you can't
crazy?
open that inside a building.
On my computer.
Oh, well, that's kind of a weird one. What if, the sprinklers go off?
Yeah.
Randy, say hello to Marty.
Marty, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good, Randy. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. We appreciate it.
For sure.
I'm trying to figure out why my camera looks so blurry on YouTube.
You're out of focus. That's what it is.
It's okay.
He said foggy. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on in here?
It's okay.
We're just going to move to the wide shot
We're
for the show for
protecting
now.
your
I
identity.
don't like that one. That one is weird. Like the man watching us.
Big brother.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Ready.
In the 2001 Stanley Cup playoffs, the Blues reached the conference final for the first time in 15 seasons. Which team did they sweep in the semifinals?
I believe it was the Dallas Stars that they swept 4-0. I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars.
Stars. Okay. Which famous draft bus holds the NFL record for consecutive games with an interception thrown at 13?
That's the record, huh? I thought Matt Schaub set that record a few years ago with like 8 or 9. I didn't realize it was a rookie. Draft bust.
That was pick sixes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I will. I'll do the lifeline here.
Your choices are Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell, Akili Smith.
Okay. I'm going to. I don't think Jamarcus played enough games to do that in his rookie year. So Russell, Akili Smith, and who was the other one? Ryan Leaf. I'm going to go with Ryan Leaf, I guess, because I don't think that Akili played enough games either. That was 1999. He was a rookie, correct? Can you repeat the question, Brooke?
Yes. Which famous draft bus holds the NFL record for consecutive games with an interception thrown at 13?
Good. I will go with Ryan Leaf.
Who holds the all-time NBA record for missed field goals?
It's got to be somebody who hit a lot. I think I'll go with LeBron. LeBron James. I'll go with him.
James. Which 80s defense that did not win a Super Bowl holds the Super Bowl era record for takeaways in a season?
I'm going to say that it was one of the Eagles teams under Buddy Ryan. I'm going to say it was the one that led the league in both rush defense and pass defense. And I think it was 1988. I'll go with the 1988 Philadelphia Eagles.
We have a tiebreaker in today's fight. So let's go to the rules really quickly. Marty, I'm going to read today's fight question. We're going to give a moment for Randy Carricker to write down his answer. We will then get your answer audibly. Randy Carricker will then say his answer and show us on the cameras. And whoever is closest to the pin is walking away as the winner of today's fight. Marty, do you understand those rules?
I understand the rules.
Randy, do you have paper ready?
I do. Lindenwood paper.
Oh, how about
Lindenwood University. Lindenwood. I'm going to put a little.
Did you run out of Rams paper?
I've got some.
Okay.
There. See, now look. See.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
The Lindenwood University.
Nice watermark too.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
How many games was UCLA's record-setting winning streak in the early 70s? How many games was UCLA's record-setting winning streak in the early 70s? Sorry, Randy, do you have an answer? Can you show me?
He showed it
Can you
to
show
us.
it to me? Okay. Are you sure about that?
No.
Okay. Marty, do you have a guess, sir?
Oh, I got a guess. I'm going to be way off, but I'll go with 37.
Randy Carricker, can you hold up your guess and say your guess, please?
My guess was 88, Matthew.
Do a quick little.
I got to do some math. Do I do math?
Do some math.
Carrie, can you hear me my calculator?
Mathing?
Okay, here you go.
I think it was alive in the 70s, so we'll see.
We have
Do
a
some quick
winner
math.
in today's fight. Was Randy Carricker closest to the pin, or does Marty take him down on this hump day? Ring that bell.
The winner and still champion of the fight, Randy Carricker.
Just win, baby.
Well, Randy, you didn't hit the jack on the whole fight, but you did in fact hit the jack on the tiebreaker because UCLA's record-setting win streak in the early 70s is
88.
88 games. John Wooden, Bill Walton, and of course before that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar setting that record there.
Was it still
So
Lou Alcindor?
what is it?
Lou
Alcindor. Yeah, he
Alcindor.
would have been Lou Alcindor when he was there. So Marty, you took him to a tiebreaker with a 2-2 tie, but unfortunately he beat you in the tiebreaker today.
And oh, by the way, little note for you. The last loss for UCLA before that 88-game winning streak started was to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. When the winning streak ended, it was to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
I love that. I love that stat. Let's go through the questions and the answers. In the 2001 Stanley Cup playoffs, the Blues reached the conference final for the first time in 15 seasons. They did, in fact, sweep the Dallas Stars 4-0 in the semifinal to go on and lose to the Avalanche. Which famous draft bust holds the NFL record for consecutive games with an interception thrown at 13? It is, in fact, Ryan Leaf. John Skelton made a run at it in 2012 when he was the quarterback for the Cardinals because of injuries. He made a run at it. He went for 12 and then did not throw a pick in the 13th game. By the way, in the 30 interception campaign by Jameis Winston, 3 whole games where he did not throw a pick. I was shocked by that. Who holds the all-time NBA record for missed field goals? It is one Kobe Bean Bryant. Second on the list is, in fact, LeBron James. Kerry didn't like that question one bit. And which after yesterday when Kerry said, "You're giving me points for my LeBron argument," I was like, "Well, let's find another point." Which 80s defense that did not win a Super Bowl holds the Super Bowl era record for takeaways in a season? Number 2 on the list is, in fact, the 88 Eagles. Number 1 all time, the 1984 Seattle Seahawks forced 68 takeaways with 38 picks and 30 fumble recoveries in 1984. The Seattle Seahawks, the answer there. So a 2-2 tie, and then Randy Carricker with a tiebreaker win. Marty, thank you so much for joining the fight and joining the show today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us.
Yeah, Marty.
Yes.
Yeah, Marty the Party.
Marty the Party.
Marty the Party.
We used to have a Marty the Party.
We did.
Marty's my guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Coming up here on the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Yesterday, the Buffalo Bills got rid of their offensive coordinator. Does scapegoating an assistant coach during the season ever really work? That's next on 101 ESPN. Hey, Uncle Randy has an idea for you, and it's about the holidays. If you're not sure what to get for the holidays, or maybe you just want to increase the value of your home, get in touch with my friends at Ambassador Midwest Floor. And here's what you can do. Buy a gift card of $500 or more and get an extra 10% bonus on your new flooring. It's a great place to go. They're available to you in Chesterfield Valley. It's an incredible facility there, also in Glendale, and it's the most and largest selection of flooring for over 200 miles. And don't forget, when you take advantage of that 10% bonus, you can get all kinds of great brands like Robbins and Stanton, and use your gift card for hardwood refinishing, custom area rugs, or let their design staff help you choose the best floor for your budget and your style. They're also going to give you a real cool digital photo frame filled with photo ideas that you can use for gifts at the holidays. It's Ambassador Midwest Floor. They're amazing. You'll love the people there, and you'll love walking through their showrooms. They are amazing. Check them out on the web at ambassadorfloor.com and tell them Randy sent you when you go to Ambassador Midwest Floor. Early in football, when you're bad, there's a pretty good reason for it. And a lot of times, the head coach is trying to stay ahead of the posse, so he'll get rid of a coordinator. Remember, it happened here at Mizzou with Barry Odom his first year. He had Damati Cross as his defensive coordinator, and it wasn't working out, so he fired him, and it didn't really change the way the defense performed. The reason that this comes up is because Ken Dorsey was fired as the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. 10 games into a season, I don't know that Joe Brady, their new offensive coordinator, the interim offensive coordinator, is going to make that much of a difference. CD, you know, because you played the game at the highest level. Can changing a coordinator during the season fix what ails the Buffalo Bills?
No. It's basically, it's generally like the first part of the domino that's going to start sending everything over is the head coach is on his way out soon. And because you're essentially finding someone, Ken Dorsey has not thrown one pass this season. He has not stood in the pocket and faced one rush and looked down the rush. He has not fumbled the ball. He has not turned the ball over in the pocket. All of those things are Josh Allen. And so I talk about it all the time. Players have to play better, otherwise coaches get fired. Ken Dorsey got fired there were probably some things where you're looking at it and say, yes, Stephon Diggs should be targeted more. You should find a way. His last few games, he hasn't had enough targets or had enough catches. You got to get your best player of the football. But at the same time, your best player on the team, which is your quarterback, the highest paid player, has to take care of the football. There was a throw against the Broncos the other night where, he threw it to the sideline. It was a deep out route, and it was so late and off target, and it got intercepted. Ken Dorsey, when he called that play, did not say, hey, take as much time as you need in the pocket, brother. Throw it late to the inside instead of the outside, and we'll see what happens. That's not what he was coached up to do. He was coached, when you get to your fifth step, drive the ball to the outside and make sure you're on time. And those things didn't happen. And so there's an interception. And now Ken Dorsey is looking for a job because his quarterback has not taken care of the ball well enough. And again, here's the other thing. Ken Dorsey doesn't call defense. He didn't have anything to do with the field goal block, and they had 12 people on the field. And all of those things are head coach related. And so, yeah, the OC loses his job, but it's not going to change who they are offensively. Mm-hmm. That team is not really good right now, and it starts with the quarterback play, and the head coach is going to lose his job because of it as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think that with Ken Dorsey, it's a situation where somebody did have to go. It's changes needed to be made here, and you never root for somebody to lose their job. But this is a results business, right? And the results were not there. The offensive production was not there. And the offensive regression has been something that was noticeable this season. CD, you talked about Brian Dable and what he was able to bring to this offense schematically and his creativity. You were able to see that in action. That explosiveness really hasn't been there for the Bills this season. How do you explain that regression from the offense?
It's the quarterback. He has to get the ball to his playmakers. And if you are unable or unwilling to get the ball to your guys, you're not going to have as much success as you normally would. This team, we talk about the window closing. I mean, it's barely cracked open at this point. They are struggling to keep it open, and that's going to cost Sean McDermott his job as well. It's how business and how football goes. It's not fair. It's unfortunate. But when your quarterback is being paid the chunk of the salary and he's not performing at the level that you need him to, you have no chance to win or be successful in this league. And that's essentially where the Buffalo Bills are right now. Their quarterback isn't playing well enough. He's leading the league in turnovers and in 10 games. And it's not good enough for this team to win. And until that happens, and to be fair, the Buffalo Bills have lost key players, Matt Milano, Trey White, in their secondary at that linebacker core that definitely takes a toll on you as a defense. But when your quarterback is paid as high as he is, you have to take care of the ball. And it's a problem in that offense. It's a problem on that team. It's not that he's trying to turn it over. He just is. And it's killing him.
And that's the thing, though, is that when you have that regression, everybody's going to be looking towards what exactly is going on. And I think that Dable was somebody that was very well respected, and the way that he was able to really elevate the players, I think, is something that you could point to, because you've mentioned it before. Bieniemy, the way that he was able to really change things with the Chiefs, and we've seen that regression. You could also point to Tyreek Hill, but I do think that sometimes it does matter. Coaching can matter in that situation, and the Bills have just looked like they have lacked that creativity. And so now they're in a situation where they're going through like an elimination diet, right? You got to figure out where that stubborn fat that's holding you back is coming from, and that's what you're doing right now. You're getting rid of that OC, and I do not think, and I do think that McDermott is going to be not that far behind.
No, and he's calling the defensive plays, by the way.
Yeah.
He kind of pushed Leslie Frazier out. But here's the other thing about changing a coordinator. Everything that they have offensively, they aren't going to change their offense. Everything they implemented happened in April and May, right? And then in training camp. Right. So nothing is going to change in terms of the plays that they're running, maybe philosophically how or when they run certain plays. But to your point, CD, you're still going to have the same plays in place that Josh Allen is throwing interceptions out of.
Well, here's the thing. Those plays that are being called generally are the plays that the quarterback feels most comfortable being called. Those are the plays. As a coordinator, I should not call plays that my quarterback has no clue of how to understand the coverage versus this route combination, where the ball should be going when he gets to his third step or his fifth step. I have to have a conversation with him, and we're calling plays that he feels comfortable with. Joe Brady is going to do the same thing. What do you feel comfortable with? Okay, let's call those plays. Don't turn the ball over, man. Throw it to the right guy.
But that's the thing, is that doesn't Josh Allen look like a deer in the headlights this season? He doesn't look comfortable out there. He doesn't look confident. So what does that mean with Ken Dorsey? Was he implementing a system that they really relied heavily on Josh Allen just running around and just slinging it down the field? And he has looked so uncomfortable at times this season.
And I think you have to rein him in. He probably was given a little bit too much leeway in terms of being able to run around and not play within a structure. And that goes back to what I talk about with him being just like Brett Favre. But to an extent, Holmgren was able to rein Favre in, and Brian Daboll was able to do that with Josh Allen. They're going to have to get a stronger voice for Allen, but getting Joe Brady during the season is not going to be the answer. It's the opening drive. Brooke, Carrie, and Randy coming up. Our Rush Hour Reset on 101 ESPN.
Hey everyone, it's Brooke here. As you know, this year I picked up a new hobby, one that I know will last a lifetime, and that is golfing. And I'm being taught at the best spot in town. That is Family Golf and Learning Center. While it's getting a lot colder outside, that's not stopping me from getting out and getting some practice in, and it shouldn't stop you either. Family Golf and Learning Center is St. Louis's warmest driving range all winter long, which I know it's kind of crazy to say considering it's 70 today and 70 tomorrow, but I promise you it will get colder, and they have 30 covered and heated bays and 3 indoor trackmen. And then you can warm your belly with some delicious food and drinks from their Back 9 restaurant. It's also the perfect spot to host your holiday party this season. Speaking of which, 'tis the season, guys, for some holiday shopping. To my fiance, I know that you're listening. As you know, I've been getting some new things for golfing, and Family Golf and Learning Center has the perfect gifts for the golfer in your life, including a club fitting sale. They're offering a free fitting with a purchase of $300 or more. So for more information, go to familygolfonline.com, learn, practice, and play your best golf.
Our Shield Studio. This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. We're recapping the biggest sports stories of the day on the opening drive with a rush hour reset.
.902 in St. Louis. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Brooke Grimsley, Kerry Davis, Randy Carricker, Matthew Rocchio, and your St. Louis Blues have now won 5 of 6 after a 5-0 clean sheet against the Tampa Bay Lightning last night at Enterprise Center. Blues were very, very impressive. Colton Perry, scoring a goal early on. And then, what's Kyrou's nickname? Ruru?
No.
Jordy?
Every time I hear
It's
Kyrou,
Rousey,
I think of
Rousey?
I think of the song Caillou.
Oh, yeah.
Caillou.
So anyway, it was 2-0 Blues.
It's something. I should know this off the top of my head, but I cannot remember right now.
Rousey might be
Rousey. It is Rousey.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. With the 2-0 lead, Jacob/Jakub made it 3-0.
Blues bring it to Krug. He goes back far wing. Score! Vrana looks to the rafters with a big thank you.
He had missed on a glorious opportunity earlier in the game. Also, Kevin Hayes almost put one by the Tampa Bay goaler, but couldn't. It could have easily been a 7 or 8-0 win for the Blues, but 5-0 is good. The Blues have now won 5 of 6. They're still in the second wild card spot, but they're only a point out of third and second in the Central Division. Jordan Binnington with the clean sheet. What did he think?
It's a team, that you're proud to be a part of. I think it's been a month or two of just working hard and buying in, and it's nice to see some results coming our way, and we're just, staying patient and playing together and trusting the system, and then we get rewarded.
I'm sure Binnington is very appreciative of the 26 block shots.
Oh, you betcha, eh?
Eh?
Yeah, no doubt about it. But Binner also, against one of the more explosive teams in the National Hockey League, comes up with the clean sheet.
Anyone who watched the game knows how strong we played tightly defensively, and we were patient, and then we capitalized on our chances in the second half of the game. So, it's a couple good games in a row here, and we got to just stay focused.
Stay focused, keep winning. Keep winning.
That would be
Seems pretty simple.
We like winning.
Stay focused, have energy, have effort. Go out there and do your job. Do what you're coached to do.
And now a 4-game trek coming up. You've got San Jose, you've got Anaheim, you've got L.A., and you've got Arizona. All winnable hockey games.
There you go. You just have to execute the plan. I was trying to do some more coach speak to add to that.
That's good. I like it.
Execute the plan.
Yeah.
You got to get that done.
Good.
To keep winning. And somebody said it's Rousey, by the way.
Rousey.
Rousey.
Okay, I was thinking Rousey. Ronda Rousey, okay. Last night, the Fighting Illini had a great opportunity to beat Marquette. Fell to the Marquette Golden Eagles.
Oh,
It used to be the Marquette Warriors, but now it's the Golden Eagles. 71-64 was the final in that game. The ILL-INI fall to Marquette. Meanwhile, football news this morning, Deshaun Watson out for the season, undergoing shoulder surgery on a bone in the shoulder. Ow.
Not great.
No.
Not great. I mean,
the surgery is not necessary here.
What is it?
Massage will take care of it.
I don't know that that's going to be sufficient, Randy. I think something needs to be surgically repaired under there.
Okay.
Which is not great. I mean,
so he's out for the year, but hopefully he'll get better. Hopefully he'll return to the form that he displayed. Hopefully this will all just result in a happy ending.
Stop. I do have a serious question.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Okay.
Is he banned from getting massages?
I believe it's
and
in
I'm being
his
dead serious because he would need massages.
No, it's in his contract that he has to get them from team employees.
Oh.
He can't go outside the building.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
is that better or worse? I don't know.
That's what you got to do. But I think that, he is. This was the same shoulder that caused him to miss a game, if I'm not mistaken, earlier this year. So clearly there was something there. And now, broken bone, probably some ligament damage underneath that he's got to get repaired. And we'll see how he's able to come back from that, because obviously he needs his shoulder to be able to throw the football. And he hasn't looked great in his time in Cleveland. And I wonder if that's something that's just been lingering and it finally just, enough was enough.
The Browns defense bought them time and Watson time. I feel like this season, especially Myles Garrett and everything that he's done, he's been a monster this season for the Browns defense. So when you look at this contract, and of course we don't know whatever is going to happen with Deshaun Watson in the future, is this going to go down as one of the worst contracts in NFL history?
Yes.
If he's unable to take them or get them to the playoffs or get them, in a playoff run type of atmosphere, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they paid a lot of money for what they believed was the one thing that they were missing. And looking at their team, obviously Nick Chubb going down earlier this year hurts. But looking at this defense, look at what they had offensively coming into this season, you were thinking that this could be a team that makes a run here. And now your star running back is out for the year. Your starting quarterback is out for the year. Defense is playing at an extremely high level. Myles Garrett is one of the best players. Forget about defense, best players in the league. But they got to have somebody that can throw the ball downfield and make some big plays.
College football last night, the College Football Playoff Selection Committee unveiled their latest rankings. Georgia passes Ohio State to be the number 1 team in the land. Michigan 3, Florida State 4, undefeated Washington 5. The 2-loss team that's the highest ranked in the country is your Missouri Tigers at 8-2. They're number 9 in the country, ahead of 9-1 Louisville. And by the way, Louisville is the one team that could. Thank you, Brooke.
Yes, thank you for getting that correct, because that is a big, big issue. In the South, you can't say Ville.
Right, Louisville.
Ville. That's how you weed out who is actually from the South or not.
What about Knoxville? Is it Knoxville?
Knoxville.
Okay, good.
Shelville. Nashville.
Really?
Louisville.
How about Nashville?
No.
Okay. So anyway, Mizzou is ahead of Louisville. And Louisville, by the way, they could upset the apple cart because they will play Florida State in the ACC championship, so that'll be interesting. So Mizzou is ahead of Louisville. Oregon State is also 8-2. They're ranked number 11. So the Tigers are on a collision course with a New Year's Day bowl game
for them.
How exciting is this? And I know that we had somebody in the Take It or Leave It earlier that's like predicting that something bad is going to happen. Enjoy this moment. I honestly thought that they would probably check in at 11. That's what I was thinking. I didn't know if the committee would fully kind of pay attention how they would really view this Tennessee win, which it was a very dominant Tennessee win. They deserve to be up there. But the fact that you get over Louisville in that situation, a 9-1 team, I think the committee is really paying attention to Mizzou and what they're doing this year. And I didn't think that they would do that sometimes. Because sometimes there's some teams where you're like, how exactly is this panning out in this way?
Right. And now the recruiting is, as Eli Drinkwitz mentioned a couple of days ago, and we talked about yesterday, the recruiting is improving. the team is on national TV, and every game's on national TV, but now they're in primetime spots like CBS at 2:30 or ESPN at 6 o'clock against Florida. Yesterday, the line was Mizzou by 11. Now the line's Mizzou by 11.5 over Florida for the 6:30 start on Saturday at Faurot Field.
Now, here's the important thing for Missouri. Finish this season out the correct way. If you make it to a bowl game, when you make it to a bowl game, finish that out as well.
Play your best players.
Play to win, and then guess what? You get to do it again next year. That's what separates the teams that are really, really good from the teams that just have those flash in the pan type of years, is the consistency of doing it year after year. You have to finish this season out. You got to beat the hell out of Florida. You got to beat the hell out of Arkansas. And then whoever you play in the bowl game should be a good team that you're matching up against. That's recruiting. Play well. Do well. Then get your guys in there, and then rinse and repeat for the 24 season. That's Mizzou's. That's their task right now. Finishing this one out, and then doing what they need to do in the offseason and preparing for 24, and then having another season like this, hopefully another 10-win season like this, and that's what will shift your program in the right direction.
Is it bad for me as a Mizzou fan to hope that Mizzou drives the final nail into the Sam Pittman coffin at Arkansas?
That nail is already deep into that coffin.
Okay,
I can promise you that. Arkansas fans are...
Is it open or is it closed?
Oh, it is closed.
Closed.
It is closed. Now the debate in Arkansas is which was worse, the Chad Morris hire or the Sam Pittman hire? Which I think that Chad Morris...
As well?
Huh?
Is Bielema on that list?
You know, I think that
they like
Bielema. They didn't like him at the time. I can tell you that for sure. Towards the end, yeah.
Who did? Petrino's their guy.
Petrino has always been a hot topic in Arkansas. Also, I'm so mad that I missed that era too, that I wasn't there, especially for that iconic press conference.
With the neck brace
it's the
on.
greatest photo in history.
It is. I should have been there for that.
The department had to be pulling their dang on hair out. Like, don't. That's when you got to tackle a guy and say, "Hey, man, I told you don't do this."
That's what they said. Is that they tried to advise him not to do it, and he wanted to do it anyways.
You tackle him. You get him on the ground.
Already beat up enough.
Roll him over, you gotta go. You gotta go.
There you have it. That's your Rush Hour Reset on 101 ESPN. Coming up, going to talk more Blues hockey with our friend Jamie Rivers from the Fast Lane, and also Blues analyst on Bally Sports. Rivs next on 101 ESPN. Hey, guys, later this afternoon, I'm going to make my way over to Mentality and get my FDA-approved testosterone treatment so that I can have more energy, that when I play golf, I can play 18 holes and still have the energy. When I go for a bike ride or go through a workout, I can finish it off. And at Mentality, there is no better safe and insured medical solution, regardless of most medical conditions. Here's what's going to happen. You go to lowtusa.com, set up your appointment in Chesterfield or South County. And when you get there on your very first visit, Mentality's board-certified physicians are going to provide a complete physical exam, consultation, a complete blood panel, and find out where your testosterone level is. And then they'll start the program for you with that FDA-approved testosterone treatment that will get your testosterone level back and your energy level back to where it was when you were younger. It makes so much difference. I see guys in there every week. Thousands of St. Louis guys have made their lives better with Mentality. You can too. Go to lowtusa.com to get started. They're going to work with your insurance company to provide the lowest out-of-pocket expenses that you can possibly pay, and you can be a better you and a happier you and a more energetic you with Mentality at lowtusa.com.
We are talking everything St. Louis Blues as we head into the Blues Booth. Presented by Boardwalk Hardwood Floors, a proud partner of your St. Louis Blues. Find your perfect new floor at our 4 convenient locations and online at boardwalkhardwood.com.
Brooke, Carey, and Randy. Jamie Rivers joins us. He is behind the bench for Blues games. The Blues started off 3-4-1, and now they've won 5 out of 6. And Rivs, first of all, good morning. Second of all, how did you turn things around from the bench down there?
Well, yeah, Randy, I just had a real good talking with the guys and said, listen, guys, let's not lose anymore. And it seems like it's worked.
It's working really well.
Yeah, they're playing really good hockey right now.
Rivs, Jamie, I was looking at the game last night, and the defenseman had a really good game. Parayko scored a goal. Troy Krug made 2 excellent passes for goals. What did you think? What have you thought about the defensemen over these last few games?
Well, honestly, I think they've been really good all year.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to even the beginning of the season, game 1, and they've played solid. They've been really good. Now, the production maybe wasn't there for someone like Troy Krug early on, but they've been solid defensively as a group, and you're seeing recently in the last couple of games to where it's really evolving. They're adding offense to it. Colton Parayko's playing, in my opinion, the best hockey of his career. And that for me, that's including the 2019 Stanley Cup run, where he had a partner named Jay Ballmeister. That did help a lot, obviously. Right now, Parayko is the catalyst of that defensive core. Every breakout, he's on his toes, he's up the ice. He's defending. He's a monster to play against right now. Just love his game.
Jamie, you being a defenseman, which one did you enjoy more, scoring a goal or just laying somebody out?
Wow. They both have different feelings of joy, Gary. As a younger defenseman, obviously I love to score. And when I came into the NHL as an offensive guy, then that changed into being more physical. So I got to celebrate the physicality a little bit more, and let's be honest, I could get 4 or 5 hits a game. I wasn't getting 4 or 5 goals a game. So.
That's good, Jamie. Well, Jamie, I know that I asked Robert about this earlier, and I want to get your perspective on this because it seems like Craig Berube, I know that us media members and fans get really excited about the line combinations and who is with who. But early on the season, as we know, they had Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, and Pavel Buchnevich all together, and then Berube went to split them up with Kyrou going to the second line. What is the biggest difference that you've noticed recently with that? Because it just looks like a more well-balanced top six.
Well, I think stylistically, it makes more sense, you know, and sometimes just putting the best players together doesn't always work because they're maybe too similar in style. And I think that's what was happening early on with Kyrou, Thomas, and Buchnevich is they all play a very similar way, and you needed someone a little more streamlined, a little more north-south on that line. And I feel like in Braden Shen's case, they needed someone that was a little more dynamic on their line. And so since they've made the change, it's really picked up the offense for everybody. And it just seems like the chemistry is really, really good from the point where Craig Berube made the change. And it's not easy to make those changes because as a head coach, you're sitting there going, yeah, if I make this change and it doesn't work, now what? So Craig Berube obviously had enough confidence that this would work, and he knew these players could probably mesh together pretty good, and he made the right decision.
Jamie Rivers with us on 101 ESPN. Rivs, when the Blues come home after this trip for their next homestand, they'll have reached the quarter pole of the season already. They'll have 20 games under their belt after their next homestand. How important are the standings right now? Because every morning I talk about how if the playoffs started today, the Blues would be in them. Last year by this time, we were kind of saying they're out of it. So how important is it to maintain either being in or close to a playoff spot?
Oh, I think it's imperative. And, you know what, Randy, what's weird about this is, you know, I never looked at the standings until after January as a player because you're like such a long season and you can get so wrapped up in it. But now I feel like today's NHL, because there's so much parity, that you have to stay focused on where you're at, because a 2 or 3 game losing streak can take you in the wrong direction in a hurry. And whereas you've seen right now with the Blues, you know, winning 5 of their last 6 games has got them in a wild card spot right now. So I don't think you get hyper-focused on it as a player or as a coaching staff. I think for me, the best way to do it is to kind of segment things out. We talked about this before, just individually for players, kind of 5-game segments. As a team, I'd kind of be doing the same thing and try to make sure that you set the goal, you know, where it's 3 wins every 5 games. It doesn't sound like, oh, that's not all that great, but it's above 500. And when you do the math over the course of a full hockey season, that makes a big difference for your hockey club.
Jamie, what have you seen from Kasperi Kapanen this season and his progression?
Wow, I love his speed. I mean, he can flat out just motor. And that's why, for me, that's why he's really worked on that line, is because he brings that straight-ahead speed. He's a smart hockey player. He's not afraid to get in the corners. He's not afraid to defend. Yeah, he's one of our best penalty killers. I mean, every time he's on the ice, between him and Pavel Buchnevich, whenever they're on the ice, they're a threat to score a goal on the penalty kill. So I really like Kasperi Kapanen's game a lot.
Okay, Rivs, so you got a 4-game trip out west, San Jose, L.A., Anaheim, Arizona. What's your favorite spot?
Oh, L.A., man, come on. L.A.
Were you on the ice when Hully? No, when Hully wouldn't come off the ice. I know you've heard the story, but you were.
Oh yeah, we're not going to overtime in L.A.
We've got 2 minutes. Tell the story.
We were down by a goal in L.A. And no, we're up by down by a goal.
I think you were tied, right? A tie game.
Yeah, we end up being tied, and so Hully was supposed to not be on the ice because we were playing for the tie at that moment. You know, getting a good road point. There was no overtime, or there was overtime, but it was 5-on-5. And anyway, Brett Hull jumps on the ice and calls off Ronnie Sutter at that point. And Ronnie was, you know, a good defensive guy, solid guy. He'll get us that tie, you know. And Hully calls him off the ice, and the coaching staff is like, "What the hell is he doing?" And Ronnie's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Just get off. I got this. So literally, Hully makes the line change and then goes down. Puck drops, he goes down and scores. And he doesn't really even celebrate. He skates to the bench and looks at all of us and goes, we're not going to overtime in L.A. he wanted to get to the local watering hole a little quicker than going to overtime.
Oh, those were the days. Ribs, have a great trip. Keep up the great work. We're loving watching you on Bally, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, brother. Jamie Rivers on 101 ESPN. He will be with you from 2 to 6. And there's a little more to the story because Brian Sutter was the Blues coach. Obviously, Ronnie, his brother. And so Ronnie sends him out again. And Hully comes on the ice with like 2:20 left in the game, tie game. So he kicks Ronnie off. Brian sends Ronnie out again. Hully says, get out of here. So Ronnie comes back, and Sutter says, well, Brian, what are you doing? He said he wouldn't let me play. So next stoppage, Brian is yelling furiously at Hully, waving his arms, and Hull isn't even looking at him, and takes another 40-second shift. So now there's like a minute 20 left in the game. Hully scores with like 59 seconds left, and then, as Riv said, skates back. We are going to overtime in L.A.
yeah, things to do.
I got plans, brother, that don't include the rest of this game. I got to go.
How good is that? Yeah. How good is that guy that he can decide whether or not the game is going to go to overtime or not with his abilities?
Thing.
I love that. Maybe everybody should keep that in the back of their mind sometimes, right? Where you just say, hey, I'm sure there's other cities. Is there a city, CD, that you're like, oh, we got to go?
I mean, LA is definitely Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately for us, we left right after the game. So your choice was either to do something the night before, which probably ain't good. But after the game, you gotta go. But
not if you're Tony a
few people that can stay around. Stay in the city.
Tony Banks, the Rams quarterback, second year, decided to stay in Miami. Go returning the quarterback of the team.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, decides to stay in Miami and not come home with the team because his girlfriend's birthday party was taking place that night in Miami.
Yeah, you should probably get on the plane.
Those are wrong priorities.
And, by the way, Tony matured, and he's a great guy. But I remember asking him, on the Wednesday after the open media session, we were talking about it, and I said, well, he said, I regret it. I shouldn't have done it. I should have come home with the team. And I said, well, what about the concept of just going to work? And he goes, well, that's a good point.
Sometimes you got to ask for forgiveness, man. I'm going to do this, and I know I'm going to get punished. I'll deal with that later.
Yeah. Coming up on 101 ESPN, Tony La Russa would always tell us, hey, we're going to get away from analytics, and it's going to circle back, and we're going to be teaching baseball again. Looks like it's happening. We'll tell you the latest next on 101 ESPN. Hey, if you want to have a great house, you need to have great gutters. And if your gutters are not effective right now, maybe they're old, maybe they're rusted out, maybe the water is coming over the middle of the gutter rather than actually going down the spouts. If that's the case with your home, you need to get in touch with my friends at Gutter Pros. You can find them on the web at gutterpros.com. They're a great St. Louis company. As a matter of fact, their general manager was born and raised here in St. Louis, and he knows pretty much every road in the area. They'll go to anywhere within 50 miles, sometimes more, of their downtown location, and they have financing for jobs over $2,000, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, 4.9 out of 5 stars on their reviews from Gutter Pros, and they do everything, whether it is residential or commercial. Plus, they do a lot of leaf protection, and they'll take care of soffit and fascia for you as well. It really is a great all-in-one company, a very professional staff of experienced salespeople and support staff, and their workers are fantastic at Gutter Pros. Need new gutters for your home? Get in touch with gutterpros.com.
This is Rocc here with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues with a 5-0 win over the Lightning last night. They're off today, back in action on the coast against the San Jose Sharks on Thursday evening. It'll be a late one, 9:30 puck drop here St. Louis times. Means you can catch the pregame show right here on 101 ESPN starting at 8:30 St. Louis time. Speaking of listening to the Blues on 101, you can go back to our Dobbs Time Warner Centers podcast from today and catch interviews with 101 and Blues analyst Jamie Rivers and St. Louis Blues center Robert Thomas. That is your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff. Find your roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Former Angels closer Troy Percival was injured and thought he had ended his career after the 2005 season with the Angels. 2006, he took the year off, and then during the offseason, before the 2007 season, he was working with a member of the Cardinals, working out, and his arm felt good, and he wound up signing with the Cardinals, had a great season, and they helped resurrect Troy Percival's career. Well, he spent most of his career as a member of the Angels, and the Angels brought him in to work with some of their young pitching earlier this offseason. And he said that he was frustrated by what he saw. And it wasn't that the pitchers or how they were throwing. It was rather, according to The Athletic, how technology was being used by people in player development. He said, quote, "I'm not one that's big on using iPads." He said, "I understand it. I had to understand it through college coaching. I just feel like we need to have coaches with eyes that can see things and put their hands on people and fix them. It's really difficult to look at an iPad, and I think that can make adjustments that need to be made." The Angels, after those comments, let go of two of their highest-ranking pitching instructors in their farm system, pitching coordinator Buddy Carlisle and the pitching performance coordinator Dylan Axelrod. And this offseason, they've made other moves that could signal a significant shift in their pitching program, both in personnel and strategy. Those changes include the dismissal of an analytically inclined member of the front office, the rehiring of a pitching coach who had been reassigned off the coaching staff a year ago, and the possibility of letting a driveline-trained coach leave the organization. This all in addition, of course, to hiring rather old-school manager Ron Washington. And Chris Carpenter works with the Angels organization. When he was asked on the last day of the season what he was doing for the Angels, he said, "I'm teaching throwers how to pitch." I wonder if maybe baseball, with what we saw with the Rangers winning the World Series and the success during the regular season of the Atlanta Braves and the success of Dusty Baker, I wonder if baseball is finally circling back to actually having coaches that coach and don't have to rely on technology to try and make their players better, which is kind of a dicey proposition, at least from my viewpoint, in trying to make the players the best that they can be.
That's what I believe is happening. It's all about trends, right? And that's the trend, the direction that everything is moving in. Bruce Bochy and what he was able to do this season for the Rangers, everything was led by his gut instinct, and that paid off. The experience paid off. The experience he had in his dugout paid off. Did you see any iPads in that dugout?
No.
Did you see any?
Don't think
Did
so.
you guys see any? No, I didn't really see any. And I think back to, remember that interview that we played a while back with Brian Snitker with the Braves, where he talked about how there is a place for analytics, and you can't just completely eliminate it. That's not what we're talking about here. There is a time and place. But then when it came to the actual game planning and game situations, then gut instinct is what kicks in. And you're seeing how that has paid off for teams and how that is the trend that is coming back into style, which is weird to say that old ways are coming back, but that's exactly what's happening here.
And clearly, Albert Pujols used it as a tool, right? But Mark McGwire says, and I trust Mark McGwire as a hitting coach. I think he's one of the best hitting coaches ever. He says that players, kind of like with any other sport, players should know everything about what they're going to watch on video by the time they get to the ballpark. That should all be done before the game starts or before they get to the ballpark, so that you can use your mind rather than relying on the immediate gratification of an iPad.
Well, the iPad, it doesn't. The only thing that's going to prepare you for live action is live action, right? You can use those things to help you kind of decipher what to do and what not to do, but you then have to go out there and react in a moment's notice. So I think that you're starting to see baseball people understand that, yeah, the analytics do serve a purpose. There is a place for it, but I can't be solely analytical based on what we talk about at 2 p.m. and compare it to what's actually happening at 8:30 p.m. because those are two totally different things. I may have was it Torey Lovello talked about, this game went perfectly. I'm going to save this sheet.
Script, yeah.
How many sheets have you saved, sir? Because I would guarantee that might be the one and only, because things change and it's fluid. And so you have to be able to adapt and adjust. And, there are times where if you are so adamant that we're going to stick to the script, and things change, that's how you lose games.
Now, one of the issues that baseball is running into, and I had a conversation with Ali about this, is by the time players, if they're 18, 21, they get to pro ball, they've been using that technology since they were 5 or 6 years old. When a pitcher is trying to go max effort, those coaches that are coaching those kids when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, they're using that technology. So the kids are almost addicted to that technology. So I think what has to happen in baseball is when you get those young players into pro ball, you have to immediately wean them off, or maybe even have them go cold turkey and say, look, that's not the way we do things in the pros. We actually coach you up so that you have to be a human being, because this is a game about men, not machines. And I know that'll be hard for a lot of people, but ultimately, I think that's how the best athletes, and we haven't always had technology, but even now, if you look at the best players, they aren't reliant upon technology as much. If you look at the way Max Scherzer has performed over the last 5 years, does he count on technology? No. Does Verlander count on technology? I'm just talking about pitchers here. Did Albert need technology? No, he was pretty good in 2001, 2003, 2004 when he didn't have that technology. The best guys, how often do you see Goldie in the dugout with an iPad?
Well, like I said, I think it has its benefits.
It does have its benefits.
But I don't think you can just solely rely on the purpose of looking at what's taking place, like, coaches have iPads on the sideline in football. They are going to look at the plays. Oh, shoot, we missed this blitz. This next time we run this play, look at who's open. This pass protection, this is why this play didn't work properly. Defensively, oh, you're not in your right gap. We talked about this all week. We have to be gap sound. So it has its purpose, but the thing to remember is the next play is the next play. And even if you run the same play, the reaction of the defense may not be the same. So now, again, you have to adapt and adjust on the fly.
And how many times was there a linebacker blitzing where you instinctively saw that linebacker and it wasn't even what you saw on tape, but you
knew that you had to go
that's
get
what
him.
I'm talking about is instinct.
Yeah, you have to rely on your instincts. Like I said, the film gives you an idea of what could happen. It's not telling you what's going to happen. And what's going to happen, you have to be able to react instantly.
Exactly. And I knew that somebody was going to bring up Albert Pujols and the iPad. Somebody from the 417 said, with all due respect, I'm with you, but I recall Albert being buried in the iPad in his final run here, which I agree that is something that he used, kind of what you're saying, CD, to his tactical advantage, but also he relied on his instincts at the end of the day, but made adjustments that he could notice from the iPad.
And by the way, he was coaching other players with that iPad, too.
He was. He would always have guys coming over and would be showing them things.
Well, and here's the reason. Like, he could look at it in the bat and say, okay, 2-1, he threw me a curveball, and I swung and I missed. Now, next time I get up, if it's 2-1, I may be, looking for the curveball. But if he throws a fastball, I have to be able to react, or I'm going to swing and miss on that. So you have to be all the information gives you is an idea, again, of what could happen. It's not telling you the complete story because those guys watch film too. They understand it as well. So you have to be prepared to adjust.
iPads in the dugout are a product of the sign stealing scandal from Houston. It's in the last 5 years. Albert had his career well before there were iPads in the dugout. The Hall of Fame credentials were built not on having an iPad, but on being able to be the best natural player that he could possibly be.
I agree. I think that there's a lot more the instincts behind the scenes and that he innately had. I think that was a huge factor in it.
Coming up here on 101 ESPN, we're going to head down the stretch with a little edition of Rock and Roll. Are we giving away Eagles tickets today? They play the Chiefs, right?
Yep, Monday night.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
It's Jalen Hurts and Jason
and Hurts versus Mahomes.
Yeah,
it's a concert.
Will Swifty
They're
be
singing
there?
too? Cool.
Hey,
Who's the lead singer?
sing, right?
DeAndre Swift will be there. DeAndre Swift is there. And Kelsey. Travis Swift. So Swift and Kelsey are there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's gonna be a great
It's
concert.
not the Eagles and the Chiefs, unfortunately. It's the Eagles and Steely Dan.
Oh.
And honestly, Steely Dan, historically, good running game.
Okay.
Struggling defensively this year a little bit. So I don't know how they're going to do.
Well, we'll see if we can reel in the years. Coming up next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Kerry for Window Nation. It's going to be bone-chillingly cold outside here shortly, and energy costs will be on the rise. Do you have old, drafty windows? Is your furnace working harder than ever to keep your family warm? Why pay unnecessarily high energy bills when Window Nation can help keep you and your family warm all season long? Window Nation's energy-efficient windows are specifically designed for climate change and will keep the cold air out while lowering your monthly energy costs by up to 30%. And speaking of savings, this month only, Window Nation is offering 0% interest for 5 years. That's 60 months interest-free. And you get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. Now is the time to protect your family from the elements, lower your energy costs, and upgrade the look and feel of your home. Call Window Nation today. Get 0% interest for 5 years, plus 2 free windows for every 2 you buy. The offer is only good this month. Call the company that over 200,000 families have trusted with their home. Window Nation. Call 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
Hey, I've got a place for lunch for you. It's the Fenton Bar and Grill on Rudder Road down in Fenton, and they have the best trash wings in St. Louis. They're absolutely delicious. Try those trash wings with the signature golden sauce at the Fenton Bar and Grill, and you talk about a delectable start to your lunch. They have wonderful specials every day. They have a spectacular menu and a really fun group of people to serve you. Alicia will be behind the bar today. You can say hi to Ashley and Megan and Colleen and Kelly. The whole group is so much fun, and they're there to serve you some of the greatest food that you'll ever have. And now they have their own beer at Fenton Bar and Grill, so you need to check that out too. It is the home of Cody Schrader when the Mizzou running back comes back home. He loves to hang out at the Fenton Bar and Grill, and you will love to hang out at the Fenton Bar and Grill as well. Great TVs, always on sports. You'll be talking to a group of people that love sports. I love the Fenton Bar and Grill. You'll love their patio today and tomorrow. The weather's going to be spectacular, so take advantage of the best patio in town and order those best trashed wings in town at the Fenton Bar and Grill. Learn more at fentonbarandgrill.com, and when you stop by, tell them Randy sent you. And roll here on 101 ESPN. Your chance to win tickets to see the Eagles in their long goodbye final tour. Special guest Steely Dan will join the Eagles at Enterprise Center on February 6th. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10, and you can get tickets now. Find all the details and find a bonus chance to win free tickets at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. But right now, you can just listen to us and get free tickets to the Eagles. Matthew, what do people have to do?
You want to throw out a text or number for this one? I got a trivia question for everybody, Randy.
I got a text number for you. It's 314-399-9646. 314-399 Yo-ho. There you go.
We'll go with a nice
That is beautiful, guys.
texter number 50 on this. Actually, you know what? You guys made the joke about our good friends, the Eagles, earlier. Let's go number 62. Texter number 62 will get the winner, will win these tickets. And all you got to do is answer this trivia question correctly. On which female stars tour did Glenn Fry and Don Henley meet and start the Eagles? On which female stars tour did Glenn Fry and Don Henley meet and start the Eagles? Looking for two names here. Female rock star, well, not necessarily a rock star. Rock star, folk star, country star. She won Grammys and a lot of different things, but a female star, and they were part of her backup band, and then they eventually went on to start the Eagles.
I know.
Kyrou, you got this one?
Yeah, two Americans. I have no clue. Reba McEntire.
Reba.
Kyrou jumped in it.
Reba.
That's all I got.
I loved her show. Did anybody else watch that show?
You got one initial right in the wrong
Sonny and
spot.
Cher?
No, not
Look up
Sonny.
that tree.
I said it was a solo act mostly. She has some duets, but mostly a solo act.
Couldn't tell.
So not Sonny and Cher.
So it's not somebody that went by a singular name.
No, she
Blondie?
is very well known as having two names. Two different
it's not
names.
Madonna.
It's not Madonna.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Not Blondie, not
I'm sorry. I can't really picture the guys who go on to start the Eagles being like the backup band in like a Virgin.
You never know.
I just it's not. It's like, am I the only one who's not seeing how this would have worked out really that well?
Weirder things have happened.
I gave you Reba McEntire. That's my.
What's a Reba song, CD?
Ooh, there ain't no way. There's no way.
Clue.
No?
No.
Can you think of like any song off the top of your head? She had a famous show that her song was in.
She had a show, didn't she?
She had a sitcom, didn't she?
Yeah.
Wasn't the show called Reba?
Yeah, but I'm saying like I was trying to give you a hint because the intro to the show is one of her songs.
Have no clue.
Never saw the show.
Never saw it either.
The theme song to the hit show Reba. That's the song.
Reba.
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
No.
Was it Why Not Tonight?
All I got, man. I can
Was
give
it
you
one to
Garth
one?
Brooks. I got friends in low places.
That's your one country song?
Friends in low places. That's always a go-to karaoke.
Places, I got friends. Yeah.
Kyrou, that's our Nuck If You Buck.
Places.
Did you know that? That's our Nuck If You Buck. If you didn't know that.
That's a Nuck If You Buck.
That's Garth Brooks.
You see what I'm saying? That's why. You play the song, you get the exact same reaction.
That's all I got is
Garth Brooks sings Friends in Low Places.
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about Nuck If You Buck for a second.
I'm saying that's our people's version of Nuck If You Buck. You get the exact same reaction if you play that song on a party.
Italians?
Reba had
Is that
a
what
hit
you're
in
saying?
1977.
White folk.
Reba McEntire?
Uh-huh.
I don't know a Reba McEntire song to save my life.
I'm not going to sing any more songs.
Give me the song. Give me a song.
No,
Reba,
please don't.
You're from Nashville.
I don't. No, guys, I seriously can't sing. Every time I do it, I feel like I shame my parents.
All right, fine. Let's talk a little college football then. Yesterday, there was a report from On3 that Quinn Ewers is expected to return to Texas for the 2024 season. Here's my thing for you guys. Is Arch Manning going to take is he going to have his first starting season? Will it be as a Texas Longhorn? If Quinn Ewers is returning next year.
So Arch redshirted this year, correct?
Yes.
And so that would mean that he would have next year would be his redshirt freshman year. He'd be sitting out possibly, but anything could happen. I mean, you have injuries, you have opportunities to play. I mean, and at the end of the day, Texas is going to play the best person. I would assume.
He sounds to me like a guy who chose Texas over Alabama. And with Ewers coming back, goes to Alabama.
Does Alabama need a quarterback, Randy?
Well, they could use one like Arch Manning, I would think.
Sure.
I'm with you on that one, 100%. As soon as I saw that, my very first thought was Arch Manning's going to be an Alabama
transfer portal is always open, man. So
always
things change.
God, I mean, just what else? I mean, you're not a defensive back, which is the best position to go play Nick Saban under. But still, quarterbacks from Alabama not doing too shabby overall in the last few years.
By the way,
not doing great.
MSN reporting that Manning will not transfer out of Texas even if Ewers returns in 2024.
Stand there and compete, man. Don't duck and dodge and run away from competition,
It's
man.
not about running away from competition.
It
It's just
is.
the fact that there's only one person throwing passes.
That's life, man. You don't get rewarded just because you showed up.
Well, you
and
only
he
get
got
college
3
shot.
years later. He still got 3 years. If Quinn does come back next year and he's not the starter, he would still have 3 years to be a starter, and he would only need one to go to the NFL. It's not like the fact that people run and duck and dodge and, I'm not playing right now. Sometimes you got to learn, and sometimes you got to grow, and sometimes you become a better person because of it and a better player. But, hey, what the hell do I know? I just watch football.
You do a little coaching every once in a while.
I read a book called Football for Dummies. That's what I told my kids.
Is that what you told them?
I said, this book is phenomenal. You should check it out. This is how I got all my information on football. That's why you should listen to me. Football for Dummies.
Have you ever actually read anything from Footballs for Dummies?
No. But I mean, I should. I might have more information than I actually have now. Just if I read that. Learn about what a first down is and, how to snap the ball properly, all those good things.
Good tips and tricks in there, I'm sure.
Yeah. Greg Rosenthal on Twitter pointing out earlier today, Josh Dobbs, or the Cardinals, I should say, were contacted by 2 teams when they were trying to move Josh Dobbs. One of them was the Minnesota Vikings. The other one, the Cleveland Browns.
That one got a sting.
This close to
that one got a sting.
Every single thing in the NFL media over the last couple of days has been, are the Browns going to make that turn? Are they dangerous? Can the AFC North put all 4 teams in the playoffs for the first time ever for a division? And that would all be, in my opinion, pretty live still if Joshua Dobbs was on the Cleveland Browns roster. But now, we did it in live time. Just nope, you're out.
I would assume that the package that the Vikings gave was a little bit better than what the Browns would have gave. The Browns still had a starting quarterback at the time. The Vikings did not. They actually needed a guy to come in and they had Jared Hall,
and he started that game.
But you brought him in. Come on, yeah. Deshaun Watson, Jaron Hall. One of them going to play for sure. One of them, maybe not.
So Dobbs has been with the Steelers, Jaguars, Browns, Cardinals, Vikings, but he has also played for the Titans and the Lions. I believe he's already had 2 stints with Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So that would have been the 3rd. They've had opportunities to keep the guy around. Maybe they should have.
I think so. And I did not see this, but 2 weeks ago when the Jaguars did come away with a victory against Kerry's Pittsburgh Steelers. What? I didn't see this. What? When the game was 17-10, Andrew Wingard got a turnover. And they proceeded to grab a couple terrible towels. And Brooke knows where I'm going with this one as a Titans fan. And they proceeded to clown around with the terrible towels. They would win that game, but then they would you saw what happened this weekend when they got absolutely blitzed by the 49ers. So, we talked about it earlier in the show. Jaguars, slow start, turning it around now. Did they jinx themselves by messing with the terrible towel 2 weeks ago, Kerry Davis?
I ain't going to say that you shouldn't grab a terrible towel and do something with it that you shouldn't be doing, but you shouldn't grab a terrible towel and do something other than wave it around.
No. Do you believe in the jinxes now?
Do you? Because Lindell White and Chris Johnson were on that sideline.
Then you cursed Robert Thomas today.
No. I'm talking about the Steelers.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying in jinxes.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
If you grab a terrible towel you're not a Steelers fan and you do something
ignorant,
unsavory,
it curses your family and your entire bloodline.
I wouldn't do it. You should ask Lindell White and those guys about it.
No, I know.
They were over there. They were over there stomping the terrible towel when we lost to them. How'd that work out for them?
They won a Super Bowl that year, didn't they?
No.
Jaguars are going to stream right
to
through,
the
right?
Baltimore Ravens, and they were the 1 seed.
There's no way that could happen to the Jaguars this year.
No way. No, they won't be the 1 seed. You're right.
Yep. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Randy.
It's our producer, audio, video engineer, Matthew Rocchio. Brooke, was this fun?
Yeah. Are you going to say the answer or no? We can't say the answer.
Oh, yeah, we can say it. We can do, yeah.
We have
answer. It was
Linda Ronstadt.
There we go.
There you go. There was a lot of Stevie Nicks, which I was thinking maybe that was it for Dolly Parton.
But the problem is, though, is that the timelines don't line up there. Stevie Nicks isn't a solo artist. When Don Henley and Glenn Frey are forming the Eagles, she's still part of, Why am I blanking?
Fleetwood Mac?
Thank you.
Did you forget about Fleetwood Mac?
I blanked on the word Fleetwood Mac. She was still part of Fleetwood Mac, not a solo artist yet.
Oh my God!
So yeah, Linda Ronstadt was the answer.
I'm a survivor to 2 CD. That wasn't the
I'm a survivor.
question. Yeah,
Beyonce?
for Reba song.
Oh yeah,
that was the end. That was her theme song.
Oh yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
So Tim McCarver came up with the Linda Ronstadt fastball because Linda Ronstadt had a hit song called "Blue Bayou."
Oh, I like that.
Blue Bayou, and it blue. Bayou, but it was blue fastball, Blue Bayou, so it was
Very
the
nice.
Linda Ronstadt fastball. CD.
Show us your face. We want to see your face. Who said that? You want to see my face?
Got my camera fixed.
There you
My
go.
face now.
Yep. T-Mac and Ajax coming up with a balloon party, and then T-Mac taking the next. I'm going to go all T-Mac on you guys tomorrow. I'm taking tomorrow off.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'll be back on Friday. He won't.
Yeah, you guys will get an extra hour of BK and Ferrario tomorrow, and then an extra hour of us on Friday.
Oh,
Wait,
looking
what?
Forward
Who
to
the
it.
hell told us that? When was that decided?
I might have something going on.
That was decided yesterday.
I had no idea either.
When these
CD.
decisions are being made. An extra hour on Friday.
I have something. I might have to bug out like at 10:45.
Oh.
Okay.
I have to record
we got
it
Rock's Hill to
Friday.
die on Friday.
If we want one, sure.
Yeah,
All right.
because you and Rudy Gobert need to have a seat.
We thank you for tuning in, texting in, and being a part of the show for all of us, especially these guys, till tomorrow morning at 7. Have a great hump day, St. Louis.
That's right.
I'm ready. Oh, hey, I want you to know about Gloria Lou. If you need to sell your home, here's who I recommend. It's Gloria Lou, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And here's why. Gloria already has buyers for your home. She's able to guarantee the sale of your home in writing because she's already got buyers in place, thousands of them from over 20 years in her exclusive database looking to buy in your neighborhood and in your price range. That's how Gloria nets you